Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are the Lions.
For more than a decade, the Reds Community Fund has been working to grow and sustain baseball in urban neighborhoods throughout greater Cincinnati and Reds country. Since the Castellini ownership team arrived in 2006, the Community Fund's reach has grown dramatically, with a brand new $6.5 million urban youth academy just weeks away from construction. Throughout today's telecast, you'll learn more about the Reds Community Fund and how you can get involved.
Live from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Fox Sports Ohio presents Cincinnati Reds baseball. Two big stories today. It's the Buccos against the Reds on the field, and off the field, we honor the Reds Community Fund. Hi, hello, and welcome to Cincinnati, everyone. Along with the crafty left-hander Chris Welch, I'm George Grand. You know, in the 21 years we've been together, we've experienced a lot of great moments on the field. But, Chris, as we look back on those years, we are no more excited and no more proud of what the Reds have done around Reds country and in the community with the Reds Community Fund. And that's one of the things we celebrate today.
Well, George, it's not what you get, it's what you give back. And that's really the motto of the Community Fund. And they give an awful lot back to the community, not just in the Cincinnati area, but throughout all of Reds country, affecting thousands and hundreds of thousands of kids and people throughout, and they're learning to give back. So it's really a lesson that we've all learned.
So two big stories to talk about. Let's talk about the baseball first. And last night, what a way to end. It took 13 innings. It was worth waiting for, Chris. And the two big shots, first the Jay Bruce swing, got the Reds even.
Well, to tie it up with that laser beam of a home run, it was clocked at 106.5 miles an hour off the bat. Look out in the moon deck. All tied up in one.
And then what did you want from the big guy? Brandon Phillips steps to the plate. He'd had a rough night with a runner at third, the winning run. What does he do? He muscles one through the infield, and the Reds had a 13-inning victory.
Well, the Pirates needed a double play. The Reds needed a hit that would get the run in, and Brandon Phillips, who had been struggling, comes through with the game winner. He was excited about that. And those that were left in the stadium were really, treated to a great, another Reds walk-off win, just the way we like it.
And the way we like it, too, is great starting pitching. Good starting pitching from Bronson Arroyo last night. Another marquee matchup today for the Reds with Homer Bailey going.
Well, Homer Bailey dominates the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's done it for a long time. Expect no different today. He'll be going against a youngster, Brandon Compton, for the Pirates. A matchup of a couple of right-handers here on a day game.
Well, the left-hander talking about a couple of right-handers, and when we get back, we'll talk about the Reds Community Fund. We'll talk baseball when we return. It's Fox Sports Ohio's coverage with limited interruptions. We will bring you Reds baseball next.
In any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Welcome back to Great American Ballpark. The Buccos and the Reds ready to play baseball on just a resplendent day for baseball after a long 13-inning matchup last night. Let's check Clint Hurdle's starting lineup. Starling Marte, what a blistering, speedy left fielder he is. He'll be in the leadoff spot. Jordy Mercer will be at short. Andrew McCutcheon, who's always hit well against the Reds, and Homer Bailey hits in the number 3 spot. Garrett Jones cleanup. Pedro Alvarez, Gabby Sanchez will be at first. Neil Walker, the switch-hitting second baseman, will hit in the 7th spot. Michael McHenry will be the starting catcher. And Brandon Compton will make his second major league appearance in his second start. And on the mound for the Reds, Chris, it's Homer's day.
Homer has been such a workhorse for the Reds so far this year, and he's a guy every time he seems like you send him out against the Pittsburgh Pirates, something special happens. Of course, he had the no-hitter last year against the Pirates, but what we've seen really before our eyes is the making of a starter who could be a #1 starter on a lot of different ball clubs right now. And Homer Bailey just salivating right here, trying to get the 3rd win in 4 games here in this series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I wouldn't bet against Homer on a day like today.
Let's check your defensive alignment for the Reds and Dusty Baker coming in, the #3 team defensively in the National League. Xavier Paul will get the start in left. Jin-Soo Choo had a great sliding catch to preserve the chance for the Reds' victory last night, is in center. Jay Bruce, who had a leaping catch over the wall, will be in right. Frazier at third, Cozart and Phillips the double play combos. Votto at first, and Hannigan will catch Bailey. That is your Dusty Baker Reds defensive lineup for today. And as we talked about, this is a day for baseball, a day also for the Reds Community Fund, and we welcome the director of the Reds Community Fund, Charlie Frank. Charlie, it's great to have you with us, and it's so impressive. We've watched what the Reds have done on the field over the last 21 years that Chris and I have been together, but what you've done with the Reds Community Fund is even more impressive.
Well, George, first of all, thank you. This is such a privilege for me to be here representing our staff and our board and everyone that supports our organization. But as you know, we are on the coattails of this phenomenal ownership group, the Castellini and Williams family. They've taken us to new heights, and we're just honored to be a part of what they do with this great Reds organization.
What's the goal today?
We'd love to, get about $50,000 out of today if I could be ambitious here, George. We're on our way to a big $6.5 million project that's going to begin construction in the Roselawn neighborhood in early July, our Urban Youth Academy. So we're still trying to get over that final hill.
Here's Starling Marte will lead it off against Homer Bailey. And Chris, as you mentioned, Bailey's been at his best at times against the Buccos.
Well, he has, George, and sometimes when you have that kind of success against a team, it spurs you on to do even more. You stand on the mound, you feel more confident against the Pirates, Bailey does, than against any other ball club. So when that happens, it means you're going to attack the strike zone, you're going to use all your pitches more, and there won't be anything tentative about Homer Bailey this afternoon.
Hey, Charlie, I remember when we did our first Community Fund game back in 2008, Homer was on the mound. I'm sure you remember that day.
Very vividly.
That's a shot down into the corner past Frazier at third, rounding first, easily colliding into second is Marte. So Marte's in scoring position as the leadoff hitter here in the first.
Now, Marte swings a pretty good bat, and he's also got tremendous wheels, but this ball goes essentially right down, inner third, center cut as far as the height goes, and that's good hitting from Starling Marte, who likes to jump on the fastball, and he's jumped on Homer Bailey early.
Charlie, you mentioned the Reds Community Fund and the ownership group of Bob Castellini. It all starts at the top, doesn't it?
It really does. To see what they have done, the doors that they've opened for us, to just witness their involvement, their passion, how authentic they are. They want great things for the city through this ball club, and they see the Community Fund as an extension of that.
What do you remember most about that first Community Fund game in 2008?
It was August. The team was not in the hunt as they are now, but boy, it was exciting to see all of our work on video, all the tremendous production work that Brian Hunterman and the Fox Sports crew did for that. And you know what? All the mileage that the Community Fund received from that production. It wasn't just the dollars we raised that day, which were significant. It was also the awareness and the rebroadcast in the evening and the chatter in the community about all the good work that you did on our behalf.
Here's Bailey to Jordy Mercer, the #2 hitter. Mercer's in the #2 spot. Usually in the #2 spot is the catcher Russell Martin. Martin not starting today. So Mercer up from Indianapolis, where he played well, and he's added some offensive input to this lineup as well, taking over at least temporarily for Clint Barmas at short. So right away, Chris, Homer's working from the stretch.
Well, he is, and of course it's Mercer's job to try to get the ball to the right side. Homer would love a strikeout right here, spoil that opportunity for Mercer to do something that would benefit his team. So you get ahead of him 0-2, you expand the strike zone a little bit, and one way you do that is you come inside to buy the outside part of the play on the next pitch. Those are good numbers this year for Mercer, runners in scoring position.
Cozart trying to keep Marte and his great speed as close as he can to second. Swing and a miss, Hardy on that. And that's a strikeout and out #1. The umpiring crew for today: Paul Emmel behind the plate, Chris Conroy at first, Gary Darling, the crew chief, at second, and Jerry Meals at third.
You see a lot of swings and misses off of Homer Bailey. I mean, he goes out there and he seems like he gets about a strikeout an inning. And the reason is because he looks like he's just playing catch, but the ball's coming out of his hand anywhere from 93 to 96. If this is a normal Homer Bailey day, he'll be throwing harder in the 7th inning than he is here in the 1st inning.
Charlie, all day today we've got staff in the Reds Ticket Center taking calls today as we try to get things rolling for the community fund.
Yeah, we have some great auction items, some Reds experiences that go through our terrific Reds Authentics program, George. We have a ticket package for $100. If someone makes a minimum donation of $100, then they'll receive 4 tickets to either the July 4th game or a September home game, along with a Matt Latos bobblehead. And a $300 donation gets you access to our ultimate autograph experience coming up July 18th.
That's an autograph from Chris?
Definitely. We'll add a Chris.
They're working
Chris
on
Welsh.
that.
Swing and a miss by McCutcheon.
Charlie, explain a little bit the Reds Authentics program. I mean, for those folks that are tuning in today who may be little collectors, maybe serious or non-serious, but like to collect Red stuff, authenticated Red stuff, signed, what is that whole program?
It's an amazing program, Chris. It's one that's been modeled after a few teams, including the Tigers, where they literally have a staff that's in the dugout getting items from that night or that day's game authenticated. And John Klein and the crew here with the Reds have done an amazing job bringing that to life over the last couple years. And to the credit of Phil Castellini, he takes all the profit from that initiative and he directs them not only to the community fund but to our Urban Youth Academy. So the Reds do absolutely everything possible to not only support what we do, but to literally put their money where their mouth is as well.
1 ball, 2 strikes to McCutcheon, who's hit Bailey well, .345 in his career. Going to third. The throw will be not in time. It was in front of the bag, and Frazier stumbled as he tried to get his footing, and that enabled Marte to get his hand on the left field corner of the bag.
That's always a tougher play than it appears for a third baseman, because the last thing you want the guy to do is leave too early and have a ball dribble where he just was and left to cover third base. But once you see that runner, you got to get over there, and oftentimes it's one of those very precise timing plays where the ball's got to get there just as the time the third baseman gets there, and of course the runner's on his way sliding.
That'll force the Reds to bring the infield in with 1 out here in the 1st.
Good news is 2 strikes on McCutcheon.
2 balls, 2 strikes to McCutcheon. Edge of the grass for all 4 Reds infielders. Did he go? No, says Gary Darling.
Boy, Homer just trying to pick away at that outside corner. I mean, he barely missed being a perfect pitch there.
Ooh, awful close.
Quick hands.
McCutcheon's a real deal. He's been an all-star, Gold Glove winner, and he's becoming a leader on this club. When he first came up, very quiet and unassuming, he's starting to make his presence known in the clubhouse as well as on the field. 3-2. Slap foul the other way. Charlie, Sarah and Matt from the community fund very much involved in what's going on today too.
Yeah, we have staff up and down here, George. Actually, this is a great day for us. We have close to 2,000 kids from our Reds Rookie Success League. You probably saw the parade that started yesterday afternoon. It felt like, but yeah, we have staff all over this ballpark. We're just a staff of 6, myself included. And boy, they cover a lot of ground. We have people, like you mentioned, Matthew Wagner, Sarah Ingram, that are helping out with the call center, and our entire staff just covering a lot of miles today throughout the ballpark.
Here's the 3-2 again. Oh, that plunks him. Well, this has been the story of these 2 teams.
Well, it was a changeup, so it certainly wasn't an intentional hit by pitch, and you're going to see no reaction at all from the Pirate bench or Clint Hurdle. And they're just trying to maybe fool McCutcheon, and this ball just kind of sails inside and clips him in a spot where he probably even hardly noticed it.
19 hit by pitch between the 2 teams this season, and over the last 2 years that evens it out, 16 each. It's been a pincushion kind of rivalry the last 2 years.
Charlie, what kind of feedback have you gotten from the community, from kids who have been early recipients of benefits from the community fund, who are now older and maybe moving on? What have you heard from personal experiences, what the community fund has meant to those individuals?
You know what, the biggest gift they can give us, Chris, is to volunteer back into the community fund. And we have a young woman who's here today, a coach with our Reds Rookie Success League. She was a terrific softball player in our RBI program, but she was also looking for a place to play, and Schroeder High School here in Cincinnati didn't have a softball team. So she ultimately became the starting second base person on the Schroeder varsity boys baseball team. She won a scholarship through Major League Baseball in the RBI program, and now she is giving back as a coach of our junior RBI softball program and with our Reds Rookie Success League. So that's Pelora Parker. So we have tremendous young people that we got to know at 7 or 8 years old that have stuck with us and then continue now to give back through the community fund.
First and third, McCutcheon, who can steal the base, inches off the bag at first. Middle of the infield for the Reds, double play depth.
That's a good point right there about a stolen base opportunity for McCutcheon, because if Homer Bailey falls asleep out there and is just so concentrating on the hitter, McCutcheon may just get a little bigger lead and make it awfully tough for Hannigan to throw him out.
On ball, 1 strike to Garrett Jones, the cleanup hitter. 1-2 Jones. Some success against Homer too. He's just about 310 for 33 and a home run. Charlie, when you think back, you grew up here, but you came from the Minnesota Timberwolves in the NBA, so you're familiar with professional sports. What are you most proud of what you're all accomplishing here?
You know, I think it's just for a market like this one, George, where baseball and the Reds means so much, not only to greater Cincinnati, but to the region. To see the hard work that everyone throughout the organization invests on making the community a commitment. It really takes the entire potential of a sports franchise and it multiplies it. And to see the connection now between Reds fans, I mean, for what we do, to be able to work in the inner city neighborhoods, to be able to break down some of the barriers and stereotypes that exist and to get them reconnected or connected to their hometown team, which is something that I had the privilege of doing when I was young through my grandfather and my father and family. It's harder to do, you know, if you don't come from a functional 2-parent household. So seeing the investment that the Reds make today, not just through the community fund, but through every branch of this organization, to do that in authentic fashion, it gives me chills.
That pitch will give you chills too. A swing and a miss. He's 1 out away from getting out of trouble, Chris.
Well, that was a key form of an out right there. You want an out, but you really want a strikeout. That way you have no chance of scoring a runner from third base. You keep the inning right now alive for the Reds defensively with no damage done. But still a very tough left-hander now in the form of Pedro Alvarez coming to the plate.
Homer's handled him pretty good. 0 for 9 in his career as Alvarez steps to the plate. 3 for 13 and a couple of runs batted in the series. And Chris, you know, we're looking at you know, the Man of Steel, the new Superman movie that's out, and some people around Reds country would think, you know, Superman was always changing in the phone booth someplace. A lot of people wonder if there's more than one Charlie Frank. Every time we turn around, he's someplace. Charlie, you've been tireless in your work. It's just amazing to see. And yes, you're just one of a number, but you could tell you're invested in this, not just as a job, but it's something that touches your heart.
You know, I mean, people say, like the two of you, you find a line of work that you're passionate about and never feels like you're going to work a single day. You know, this is, and you guys know better than anybody, this is it's a long season. You know, so there, and as our footprint has grown, you know, there's no off season anymore. Our Urban Academy, and Chris has been out there with us at the old Cape High School in Winton Terrace these last 4 winters. You know, Bill Daggy and our staff been operating 6 days and nights a week, so things don't slow down. There was exactly 1 week between the end of the playoff run and the start of our Urban Academy season, so there's no downtime. So it'll stretch you a little bit, but when you love what you do, we're just you know, so lucky to be talking Reds and community and baseball, trying to bring these pieces together. And like you said, our staff and our fabulous board, our president Owen Raspman. I mean, you talk about 3 or 4 or 5 people. That guy, he's the man of steel in our world. Just such a hard worker. We have so many like that, and you'll meet one later. Hank Meninger, one of our board members. You know, that's how it gets done, by having a whole army behind you.
Swing and a miss. 1 and 2, and you could tell it's a labor of love for you, Charlie. There is no mistaking that.
Well, you know, probably like both of you. I mean, to grow up in Cincinnati, and George, I know you're from out east, but you grow up with baseball in your blood, and you have a family that teaches you the game. It's my earliest memory, probably the last memory of my life. It's the other love of my life besides my family.
It's a great love, and there's a great pitch. What a bounce back from Homer Bailey. He strands too. Charlie, thanks so much for all you do, and congratulations on what you've accomplished, and best of luck for great success today.
George and Chris, thank you. We appreciate everything that you and the crew are doing for us today. It's just off the charts.
Hey, the exciting new Urban Youth Academy complex only weeks away from beginning construction, and what a facility it's going to be. Here's Brian Giesenslaw with more.
The new Urban Youth Academy complex will be a $6.5 million facility at Roselawn Park in Cincinnati. Close to $6 million has been raised so far by the Reds Community Fund Capital Campaign. Major donors include Procter & Gamble and Major League Baseball. The biggest addition will be a 34,000 square foot indoor training center, which will be owned and operated by the Reds Community Fund. Once completed, the Urban Youth Academy will become the hub of all Reds Community Fund programs and will also serve as a safe haven for kids who'd like to better their own lives through baseball and softball.
Thanks, Brian. And
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm here in the guts of the telethon. This is the call center. These people are standing by to take your calls. Even Mr. Redlegs is here taking calls. The goal of this telethon is $50,000. Now, you might think that that's a pretty hefty goal, but let's find out. Matthew Wagner from the Reds Community Fund is here. And Matthew, how can the people out there, the viewers, get a piece of this? How can they bid on some of these great auction items?
Well, Jeff, there's two different ways that people can bid on auction items. One is online at MLB.com/auction. They can go on there and select the Cincinnati Reds team. They can bid on 4 great auction items for the next week. They'll be up. So those will close at midnight on Thursday of next week. The biggest one today is here in the call center. Anybody who calls can make a $100 donation as a minimum. They can receive 4 tickets to a future Reds game and a Matt Latos bobblehead. They can pick that up here at the game when they come to the game later on this year. The other thing is, if they want to step that up a little bit, they can make a $300 donation and actually attend our Reds Ultimate Autograph Experience in July, which is a full team event. They can get an autographed item from the entire team. So those are the two big ways we're trying to get people to donate to the Reds Community Fund, really to help out our P&G Cincinnati Reds Urban Youth Academy.
I think George is already on the phone doing that. I'm going to get on it as well. Guys, back upstairs.
Thanks, Pick. Great job. What a great day for baseball. Picture perfect day. Summer setting of baseball, and here's the lineup that Dusty Baker will send out against the young right-hander. Shin-Soo Choo came up with a big play last night to keep the Reds in the game. Will lead it off. Xavier Paul will be in left. Joey Votto hits third. The first baseman, Brandon Phillips, who had the game-winning hit last night in the cleanup spot. Jay Bruce, who homered last night, behind him. Frazier, Cozart, Hannigan, and Bailey. And here's the youngster taking the mound for his second major league start. Brandon Compton had a pretty good first start, Chris.
Well, he did, but he also started the season down in the minor leagues and pitched a lot down there before he got called back up. The Pirates have had to lean on pitchers they didn't think they would have to because of the injuries they've had to their starting rotation. Compton, average fastball about 92, good slider, not much else. He doesn't throw many changeups. He doesn't have a trick pitch. He doesn't overpower anybody, but he availed himself pretty well his first time out. And I know that was against the Los Angeles Dodgers, 5 innings of 3-run baseball. And there's a little bit of the information about him. He's 24 years old, from Jonathan Broxton's hometown, Augusta, Georgia.
And in his first start came in Atlanta, ironically, where he had family from Evans, Georgia, where he's from, and also his host families from Altoona, from the Eastern League, and from West Virginia, from his A-ball stop. All there for that opening effort on his behalf. And yeah, by his own admission, he's a pitch to contact pitcher, but he struck out the first 3 he faced and 4 of the first 5. Kind of surprised his teammates, and as you saw by the numbers, pitched pretty well. Here's Choo in at 277, 10 homers, 23 knocked in. 3 for 12 in the series coming in. No balls, 2 strikes. That's a little wide. You get a pretty good idea of what we're going to be doing. We got the packages from Brian in between innings. We're going to be having guests up here, and we want to take a moment to thank all our regular sponsors for chiming in with us to make this a very special day, for relinquishing their commercial time to help us tell the important story of the Reds Community Fund. The two-hopper down to third. Alvarez uncorks a bad throw that Sanchez can't hold the bag and get the ball, and the Reds will have the leadoff hitter on. First rule, Chris, at first, get the ball first, tap the bag second.
Well, Pedro Alvarez has played a superb third base throughout this 4-game series, but he just lets loose with this one, and that's just a bad play by Gabby Sanchez. I mean, you're right, George. You got to come off the bag. You've got to be able to grab the ball. The third baseman gets the error there, but really the error of effort was that of Gabby Sanchez, just not going about fielding his position right way at first base.
13th error of the season for Alvarez. He's come up with some spectacular plays, but at times will make bad throws like that'll get him in somewhat of a hole. So the Reds have a runner on, and here's Xavier Paul at 263, 5 homers and 24 knocked in. Pretty good lead down at first. Votto on deck. Reds trying to strike early in this one. George Grand, Chris Welsh, Jim Day, Jeff Pecoro around the ballpark. We'll be interviewing folks associated with the Reds Community Fund all day long. And the Fox Sports Ohio hierarchy here as well. Francois McGillicuddy, Tom Farmer, Bob Pennell, all excited to be a part of what is a very exciting day for the Reds Community Fund, for Reds baseball, and for Reds country. Chris, we've had so much to celebrate in baseball since the Castellini group took over, and this community fund is certainly a big part of that.
Well, it is. I mean, they've made it a focal point of just about every of their fundraising activities. They've tried to improve the conditions for kids to play baseball and softball throughout the entire Reds area. And not only that, but for kids who are challenged either physically or mentally, can't get on a regular ball diamond, they've made baseball fields available to them. They've helped in the inner city where the kids don't have enough money to have baseball fields or uniforms. They've provided just about everything you need, and that urban youth academy that they have is just going to be off the charts. The combination of the cooperation of Major League Baseball and Procter & Gamble and the Reds and the community and all the volunteers that have been involved is just it's heartwarming to go over there and watch these guys work with the youngsters.
Sometimes keeping your eye on baseball is one part of the story, but the part off the field is sometimes more important, as this is.
Well, you know, you consider the Cincinnati area anyway, and one reason why people will say that this is one of the best baseball towns in America is because of its active and its very deep youth baseball heritage. I mean, there is just a tradition here where the average baseball fan in Cincinnati knows a whole lot more about baseball than the average fan in a lot of other markets. And the reason why is because they played baseball as a youth, and they're sitting back and they're watching the Reds games, and they're guessing along with the manager or even second guessing, but they're doing things because they have some basis of knowledge, and I think the Reds have taken it upon themselves to make sure that trend doesn't change.
Well put, buddy, from a guy who came through this community and was a direct product of youth baseball here in Cincinnati. That's missing on the outside corner, so it's 3-1 to Paul. The Reds Community Fund supports more than 500 baseball and softball teams annually in greater Cincinnati and throughout Reds country. And Chris, that's all part of Not Whole Baseball 2 here that reflects not just on boys baseball but on girls baseball as well.
Everybody who wants to play should have an opportunity to play.
3-1. That's a strike at the low end of the strike zone, says Paul Emmel, and we'll go full 3-2. We'll see if Chu will be off and running.
Well, he hasn't thrown a strike yet until right there. That's a pretty good looking pitch.
Chu got plunked yesterday, the day before yesterday, for the 19th time on his knee. That knee's still a little bit balky. We'll see if he'll be running 3-2. You expect him to. He's going. Swing and a miss. The throw will be wide. Chu will pop up and hold at second. Well, with the swing, McHenry had to wait a little longer to receive the ball before he could throw, and the Reds have a runner in scoring position. Let's check your defensive alignment for the Buccos, who are 9th in the league in defense. Marte, great speed in left. Same thing for McCutcheon in center, and Jones in there for his bat and right. Alvarez, you saw the error that he made, is 13. Mercer, Walker, the double play combos, and Sanchez over at first with McHenry behind the plate catching Compton. That's the Pirates' defensive alignment. So Paul strikes out. That's your first out, but a runner in scoring position. And here's Joey. Look out. McHenry saved a runner at third.
Well, if you look at the scouting report on Joey Votto, the one glaring weakness he has is low and behind him.
Low and behind him. Tough to hit that one, man. And obviously no intent there with a runner in scoring position. You saw that in his rearview mirror. 1 ball to Joey. Line to left. Here comes Chu around third. They will send him. The throw coming to the plate. It will be wide, and the Reds lead it 1-0. So Joey delivers his 35th run batted into the season. That's a sweet swing, Chris.
Well, he needed about one pitch to figure out what he needed to do and do very well. And just about like always, Joey Votto takes a pitch on the outer part of the plate and he rips it to left field. For most left-handed hitters, that's a good spot to pitch him. For Joey Votto, all that means is it makes it easy for him to do what he does best, which is go uppage.
So Votto's on, 1 away. The Reds lead it 1-0. So the error and the stolen base combined to get Chu around and in to score, and the Reds lead it 1-0. And here's Brandon. When everything finally settled last night after 13 innings, it was Brandon Phillips' ground ball through the middle of the infield that plated the Reds' winning run and sent everybody home with a smile. He's in at 272. The run batted in is team leading 57th of the season. He's been one of the league leaders in runs batted in for the last 2 months. The hit after a struggling night for Brandon made the night end with a smile on his face. He's only 2 for 13 in the series. Now you always point to the game-winning hits, Chris, but Brandon came up with a fine defensive play. Jay Bruce picked one off the top of the wall. Todd Frazier a key double play ground ball over the bag at third. Those defensive plays set the stage for Brandon's hit.
You're right, and I think the other thing is that the way the Pirates ran themselves out of an inning or two. They had 2 players picked off yesterday. They made errors in the field, and they had to feel like they were very fortunate to be up 1-0 as late into the ballgame as they were.
Here's the gamer bounding past the bag, plating the Reds' second run, and there's a happy Brandon Phillips. Billy Hatcher says, that's it, let's go home. Sleep fast, we got a day game tomorrow. Everybody had their rally caps on in the stands. I walked down to the scoreboard room right about that time in the 13th. That's up high. And the guys in the scoreboard room got it going. They got their rally chant going. I think that's what turned the page.
I thought maybe you were going down there to change your walk-up music.
Well, Todd Frazier did change his today for the first time all season.
Is he not going with Frank anymore?
No, it's a Sopranos moment.
Oh, okay.
In honor of
sure
the late Gandolfini. There goes Votto. It's inside. The throw in the dirt, and they will get him at second. Good hits by Walker. So Votto erased. And the base runner erased, second out of the inning.
Well, the Pirates have really improved from standpoint of throwing runners out this year, especially when Russell Martin is behind the plate. Maybe not quite as much with Michael McHenry. You can see that throw is even a little bit offline, but nonetheless, when you're forced to run a game with guys that don't normally steal, you run that risk of running yourself out of an inning.
And there it is. Now Brandon gets a base hit to left for the Reds, their second hit of the inning. 2 out, runner on, and that'll bring up Jay Bruce. He's had some sweet swings of late. Last night was one of them, Chris.
Well, I think that he's just maturing as a hitter. If you talk to him lately, he seems like his body language is better. He stands up straighter. He looks you in the eye. You know, sometimes when you're in a big slump, you kind of want to avoid everybody. And it's not like that right now for Jay Bruce. I mean, his aura is all about confidence, and that's a guy who's seeing the ball real well right now.
One ball, one strike to Jay. The home run is 14th of the year, now sitting on 49 runs batted in. A little bit later on in this day where we honor the Reds Community Fund, we'll go with Jay to the christening of the Brian Wilson Field that he funded. You talk about the moments for a young player like Jay Bruce, and he still lists the moment that he was with us up in the booth here, Chris, with his dad and Brian Wilson standing in the back of the booth right after he signed, and the day that he dedicated the field in Brian's memory also is high on his list of major moments as a Red, not just the homers or the great catches. Here's the 1-2. That's down and in. Everybody matures at their own level and at their own rate. A work in progress. Jay will tell you that himself. At the plate, defensively, he's never missed a beat since coming to the major leagues, but offensively,
you like to see those numbers. That indicates clutch.
Brandon gets his hand back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pumped into the stretch. Phillips a little bigger lead, not going. That's down and away. Another look at the big swat last night, Chris.
Well, he got a fastball from Jason Grilli, and I think that he was even surprised. I talked to him a little bit about it today. I said, you know, that was the same pitch you had, you know, the night before. And he goes, yeah, Grilli got in on me a little bit the night before. I got my bat head on that one, and man, look out in the moon deck. That ball was a rocket.
Full count. This one hit high in the air to right. It's going to stay in the park, though. Under it is Jones. He'll haul it in, but the Reds get a run. The Reds field renovation efforts around Greater Cincinnati began way back in 2006 with a matching grant from Reds owner Bob Castellini. Now all over Reds country, evidence of the funding from the Reds Community Fund can be found. Here's Brian with that story.
Now, baby Bubba. I've been to a lot of opening days and I've been in a lot of ballparks, but I don't know that I've ever been to one as special as an opening day as this one is because of all the people that this park will touch. That's a way to go. Nice job.
Since 2006, the Reds Community Fund's field renovation program has reached out to baseball organizations all over Reds country. The Miracle League field at the Dunham Recreation Complex in Cincinnati has hosted games for special needs players since 2009. All told, more than 300 baseball fields have been built or redesigned, often with the financial support of Reds players. Francisco Cordero Field opened in northern Kentucky's Pioneer Park in 2011. Clark Montessori School and the Reds RBI program share Brandon Phillips Field in Cincinnati's Winton Place.
One of my dreams, it came true today.
2, 1.
1, 2, 3. Yes. Appreciate it, man. You got the right number on already.
You know, the old saying is, "I'm from Missouri, the show me state," and Brandon certainly showed us how to do this and do it right.
A memorable day for Brandon Phillips. Today, a memorable day. The Reds are taking a 1-0 lead against the Buccos here We go to the top of the second inning. We celebrate the Reds Community Fund on this day, and where a better place to start, Chris, than at the top. And I think we've all seen it over the years that you can have a community fund. You can say you're going to be involved in the community, but it is ownership and a legitimate and strong commitment to make that happen that makes it worth. And Bob, that's what you've done here, is make it work here.
Well, that's nice of you to say, George, and we worked hard at it. But frankly, what we've done is just open the door wider for Charlie Frank to make it happen, and he's making it happen. It's really this Urban Youth Academy is just over the top. It's going to be such a wonderful thing for our city, for our community, for Reds country. Yeah, we're excited about it.
What are you most proud of that the Community Fund has done?
I think the Urban Youth Academy is the penultimate. I can't even say it. It's the top achievement so far. We're only one of 3 in the country, and it's year round, and it's for kids not only to play baseball year round and learn how to play baseball, but it's a character builder, and it's something that we will have for the rest of for the duration for our community.
Here's some shots of it. You're well on the way to the $6.5 million goal, and you'll break ground later this year.
Right. We just have to get over the top.
Bob, why do an Urban Youth Academy?
Well, first of all, that's a long, hot summer, and kids they can play baseball all summer and want to spend the winter learning how to play better the next summer, are going to have a lot more character than perhaps they would have not having taken up a sport, and baseball is the sport of the summer.
Is one of the goals of the academy to try to place some of these kids who may be talented enough in baseball to play in college somewhere, help them get some scholarships, and kind of maybe break a tradition of kids not in their family not going to college?
How about this? How about a Chris Welsh that goes to St. X and comes and pitches for the Reds?
Well, I'll tell you, had I had an opportunity to do some baseball work inside during the winter, I loved it enough to do that. And I know that there are some kids out there that will do that. And I think it's a great opportunity for those that wouldn't otherwise have that opportunity. And I think the sooner it gets finished and open, the better.
Mm-hmm. And P&G has been just fantastic with their support, both their human and their financial resource. They just go over the top for this community, and we're fortunate enough to have them do it through some of the things the Reds do. Kroger's in there with them. A lot of people are a lot of our corporate citizens are really supportive of what's going on in the baseball world in Cincinnati.
4 straight strikeouts for Homer Bailey as he strikes out Gabby Sanchez for the first out. Here's a sky-high pop-up to short. Cozart has it, and there's 2 away. Bob, every community fund event I've been at, you've been at. So it's not just providing the funds, not just providing the impetus. It's something that you've taken personally, and you've been so much a part of. Yesterday was a good example. You were with Devin Mesoraco and Tony Cingrani again, and it's something that touches your heart too.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're going to talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. And Joe Morgan was out there with us yesterday, and I told the kids, maybe some of you or maybe most of you don't know who Joe Morgan is or was.
That's right.
But he's one of the greatest players that ever played for this franchise, and one of the greatest second basemen in the history of baseball. And I'm looking out there and I'm seeing a couple of Joe Morgans, at least a couple. And I'd like you to know that if you aspire to be a Joe Morgan, you're a winner. And now those players that you're talking about, they were terrific. They've been terrific all year. Who was out there yesterday? Jay Bruce and Tony Cingrani and Devin Mesoraco. They were, and they were just the tip of the iceberg. J.J. Hoover, Chris Heisey, Todd Frazier, and I'm missing a few. They've been fantastic. The players have been just fantastic supporting our Reds Community Fund.
What effect does it have on those players when they get out there, especially the Reds Rookie Success League, and they see what happens out there?
Yeah. Chris, that's a great question. Once they get out there, they realize that it's extremely worthwhile, and how much their presence means to those kids.
Is Michael McHenry with 2 away here in the second inning. And sometimes the questions are about baseball. Sometimes you're, let me see, I want to see your, how long is your hair? Or you've got a good group in that clubhouse. You really do.
Yes, we're very. It's very gratifying to walk through that clubhouse. Those fellows are our team. They are a team with a capital T. They have each other's backs.
And that's about being successful on the field and off the field as well. And you know, that kind of one part of it begets the next part too, and that when you have young players that are so much a part of it, they begin to pass the baton to the next group of young players that come up.
Absolutely, absolutely, it's a legacy. Joey doesn't miss many of those.
Glances off his glove for a base hit, and 2-out base hit. That'll bring up the youngster Brandon Compton, the pitcher.
When you have leaders like Joey and Jay, Brandon in the clubhouse that set the tone, everything else falls into place.
And sometimes when you have Joey Votto playing that far off the bag, though, he feels like he can get the balls that he wouldn't normally get to, and that are clearly in the range of Brandon Phillips. And that's exactly an example of one of those where really may have been better for Joey to hang back, try to get to the first base bag, and let Brandon Phillips patrol the right side of the infield, which he does better than anybody in baseball.
Here's Compton, who can swing the bat a little bit. He was a third baseman in high school, was a high school All-American, went to Georgia Tech, made his name as a pitcher, but decent with the bat, looking for his first hit as a major leaguer. The effort never ends, does it, Bob? When you talk about the community fund, it's getting better and better.
Yeah, that's right. It's an ongoing 24/7, and it's really satisfying to see what Charlie has done. He's done a great job, and the Reds Community Fund in Reds Country, not just in Cincinnati, but in Reds Country, has had a terrific impact on encouraging young kids to play baseball.
So far, so good. A 1-0 lead and a very productive day for the Reds Community Fund. Bob Castellini, thanks so much for all you do. And best of luck on this Community Fund Day.
Thanks, George. Thanks for everything you're doing. Both of you. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Bob.
You know, it's not all about baseball for the Reds Community Fund. The girls' RBI program is thriving, and for one young lady, it's changed her life. Here's Brian with that story.
Score on 3. 1, 2, 3. Score!
One of the fastest growing Reds Community Fund initiatives is the girls' RBI program. RBI stands for Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities. The Reds RBI senior softball team has qualified for the regional finals the last 2 years.
It gives them that chance to play ball over the summer when some of them may not have that opportunity.
Led by local high school coaches, RBI is a national program. And Ludlow, Kentucky's Miranda Ladani is one of 12 high school seniors in the country awarded a college scholarship as a result of her participation in the program, her strong academic record, as well as work done in her school and community. Miranda will attend Spalding University in Louisville, where she'll study special education and continue to play softball.
It's great. It's going to help me so much throughout college and stuff, because it's something that's every year. I don't have to reapply for it and stuff, and it's guaranteed. And it'll help me continue to play in college.
RBI single, and the Reds lead 1-0 here on Fox Sports Ohio. And Jim Day with you. We're up in the suite level. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you one of the RBI softball coaches, Herb Riley, who is one of the volunteers. And Herb, we also have next to you Miranda Ladani, and she is the latest to be rewarded or celebrated for her efforts on and off the field, including the classroom. It has to make you very proud to see these young ladies flourish.
It does indeed. These ladies work hard on and off the field, and the work that they give back on the field is also done through the community fund and their volunteer efforts that they have with Reds Fest and the Reds 5K runs. So all their effort is being rewarded, and this is a great program for them to have that opportunity.
No question about it. As Brian Giesenthal just said, the RBI softball program is one of the quickest growing within the Reds Community Fund. Why do you think for the growth? What do you think the reasons are for the tremendous amount of growth?
Actually, the young ladies get out and they help promote the program. We have a lot of coaches involved who go out and go around to different inner city leagues to get the program around. The Reds Urban Youth Academy that we hold over the fall and winter is a great opportunity for the girls to get a workout, but to also then see what the RBI program is about and have that opportunity to get information.
Now you do this on a volunteer basis, from coaching Walnut Hills to the RBI program to the Urban Youth Academy. It takes a lot of volunteers. How do you guys coordinate it, keep it all together, and make it a family atmosphere?
Yeah, as we grow, that becomes more challenging because we get a lot more people involved, but we have a very good core unit that's involved there, and with that growing, we all take on more responsibilities with the growth of the program.
Miranda, quick question to you. Has to be exciting to be a part of this, and I know you appreciate everything the RBI program does.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I mean, I don't know what else I would do without it.
That is awesome. All right, George Grant and Chris Welsh, proof positive that, tell you what, volunteers in the RBI program can make such a difference to the youth and the community, and we salute them all.
Well put, JD, and thanks to Herb, Miranda. Congratulations to you as we honor the Reds Community Fund on this day. Chris, you know, you've been there, you know, as a parent and as a son with your mom and dad, you know, when your dad coached you, and, you know, these are all volunteers. I mean, every step of the way through the Reds Community Fund, you're talking about volunteers who take away from their only family time to give back to the community, and they're pretty special people. Well, you're right, George, especially when you're talking about the hours and the commitment and the time that, you know, maybe some of the members of your own family would like you there, but, you know, sometimes there's just a greater deed to do. And when you can give back to the community, and, you know, it's so great to see these guys and girls who are working with these players because they're so knowledgeable about baseball. All they want to do is pass on that information and continue the cycle. There's Todd Frazier, dribbled down to third. Alvarez has this. Sanchez will haul this one in, and there's one away, one out here in the second. Zach Cozart coming to the plate. Auction item number 1 from today. The winner of this auction item will throw out a ceremonial first pitch prior to a Reds game this year. Then you and 15 of your family and friends will enjoy the rest of the game from one of the ballpark's luxurious suites. You'll also receive 2 parking passes, food and non-alcoholic beverages, a mascot visit, and more. You'll also receive 1 official Major League Baseball signed by the entire 2013 Reds roster of players and coaches. 3 guests can join you on the field prior to the game. Game date has to be mutually agreed upon and is based on availability. That's auction item number 1. Cozart bangs this one down to third, and there's 2 away quickly. That's pretty good. Hey, the parking pass is more valuable than all of that, right? That's a tough item to come across. That's a good auction item, and it's easy to do. You just log on to your computer or your smartphone to MLB.com/auction. We showed you that already, and you can let the bidding begin. There's the catcher, Ryan Hannigan. He's in at 202, couple of homers, 13 knocked in. Now, the bidding for all these items we're talking about will happen for a week. So it won't be over at the end of the day. If you happen to miss today, or you put one bid in, you want to come back tomorrow or the next day and see where you are, that's the way you can do it and make sure you get your item. It'll be all week long. I guess we should mention, too, if you happen to be watching the replay of this game later on today, you can still bid then. So it's not just ending during the game. You can place your bids all week long. 1 ball, 1 strike. That clips the top of the strike zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hannigan. Compton was a player of the year in Atlanta, an All-American high school player. Ryan Hannigan came up the hard way in Andover, Massachusetts. A non-drafted free agent. Signed 11 years ago, and he's become a staple in the Reds organization. That's a looping pop up to second. The Reds go quietly 1-2-3 here in the second. We're going to the top of the 3rd inning. And don't forget, the Reds Rookie Success League in Cincinnati was the original outreach program of the Community Fund. That was back in 2003. For more, here's Brian Giesenslaw.
The Reds Rookie Success League is a free character-building program for 6 to 12-year-old boys and girls that focuses on the CI Reds 6 stars of success: cooperation, integrity, respect, education, determination, and spirit. The program involves Reds players and coaches who visit each day the team is in town. Currently, the Reds Rookie Success League takes place at Schmidt Fields in the West End and will move to Roselawn Park in either 2014 or 15. The Reds Rookie Success League has expanded to include Butler County, Claremont County, Louisville, and Dayton.
Hey, don't forget, the Reds Rookie Success League was a favorite project of Ryan Friel, the late Ryan Friel, and one of our favorite players. This year is going to mark the first year of the Ryan Friel Award in Cincinnati for a young person that showcases heart and hustle. We'll have more on that a little bit later on. Some of Freely's family are here today, and I know that all of us will regard Ryan is one of the special guys that we've had a chance to be around during his Reds career and during our career here. And as today continues, we'll end up talking more about it. Well, here we go to the third inning. The Reds with a RBI from Joey Votto, lead it by a score of 1-0. And with his headset on, down in the dugout is Matt Latos, and what a great example of what we're talking about today, Chris. Matt, great to have you with us.
Not a problem.
I know that you've been very generous with your time on days that you pitch, on days you don't pitch. You learned growing up as a young person, and since you become a major leaguer, that it's important to give back. And
yes, definitely.
This is a special day for you too, I know.
Yeah. Growing up as a kid and watching this game, you know, it was always something special when you have you know, guys that are, you know, willing to you know, participate in youth groups and stuff like that. So it's always a good thing. I'm always on that list to get in there to, you know, teach little kids or, you know, show little kids you know, just a good time.
Hey, Matt, Chris Welsh here. You know, you had a bobblehead recently.
I did.
And it's part of the donation package that is going on with this Reds Community Fund effort. What do you think of your bobblehead?
I don't like the outcome of the score of that game, but the bobblehead was really neat. You know, it had the tattoos, or you know, an attempt to make it look like I had the tattoos. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, it was a big honor just to have the bobblehead, but you know, for them to put the tattoos on there was also was incredible.
Now, what the people are seeing on the screen right now is how to get a Matt Latos bobblehead, and the reward package right there. If we could see it again, a good depiction of what that bobblehead looks like.
Yeah, I can't see it.
A donation of.
Yeah, for a minimum donation of $100, you can receive 4 view-level tickets to a Reds home game and that bobblehead. To donate, call 513-765-7300, or you can make a donation online at reds.com/community. Have your family and friends been wearing you out on those bobbleheads, Matt?
Not too much. I had a lot of people that came into town and you know, get their own, pretty much. Get your tickets and get your own. You know, for those who couldn't make it, I got some family in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A couple of, you know, really close friends in Florida, and you know, some family in California that couldn't make it. So we got a couple boxes and we sent them out to them.
Hey, Matt, you came from San Diego and came here in a much ballyhooed trade. And when you first came into this Reds clubhouse, I'm sure everybody, when you're part of a trade, you wonder what's the new clubhouse going to be. And you've become so much of an integral part of what's going on here. It looks like a special clubhouse.
It really is. You know, a lot of these coming over here for 4 guys, you know, I felt like I needed to prove myself, and I didn't do so good in April. But you know, I've settled in, and you know, a lot of these guys are just unbelievable teammates and unbelievable guys to be around. You know, real loose, just upbeat guys that want to be here, want to play the game, know how to play the game, and excited to, you know, for anybody to be out there on the mound, and you know, anybody to be on that field with them. And it's a great experience. It's definitely a big change from San Diego, and I'm sitting here soaking it up every day.
Hey, Matt, it looks like that Homer Bailey kind of upped his game when you got here. Has he pushed you, or you pushed him?
You know, Homer really doesn't need any pushing. He's stubborn. He knows what he needs to do. You know, we're real cool. You know, me and Homer, and you know, it's exciting to watch him pitch, and you know, and I'm pretty sure, you know, I hope he feels the same way about me. But you know, I enjoy watching him pitch. You know, it's everything. Every day it's something new with him, and it's exciting. You know, a guy who ropes for, you know, in the off season, and you know, a guy who pitches his butt off, pitches his tail off all year.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Jordy Mercer. That's fouled off. You know, Matt, every clubhouse is different. Every year is different, for that matter. But in addition to the camaraderie inside a clubhouse, you can sense there's some groups that willingly and excitedly take part in community efforts. There are others that don't, and it appears that this clubhouse, from top to bottom, the guys enjoy the community fun work that they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just a community work. We have, you know, Make-A-Wish come in every so often down here at the stadium, and you know, there's guys that are lined up to meet them, sign autographs, take pictures, that kind of a thing. You know, and then you know, when the community stuff comes up, there's always a list that's up there on the board, and you know, the guys aren't afraid to put their name up on there, and it's not just the rookies that are up there. It's not guys that, like me, that have you know some time, a little bit of time. It's veteran guys that have their name up on the board too, that want to do it. You know, guys that have got 6, 7, 11 years, you know, in the game, and they're just, you know, it's the most important part. You know, without the little kids, you know, and without them, we wouldn't really have fans. We'd have a lot of, we have grown ups running around, but it's more important for the kids.
Nice play by Homer and Joey Votto there. You've done that through spring training time and time again. That's a tricky play for a pitcher, isn't it?
Yeah, you never know what to expect. I mean, well, with Joey's pretty solid over there. He gives you the occasional behind the back, but you know, he gets the job done. He's got a good glove over there. He's got a good sense of what he's doing, and you know, but it is always a tricky play. You're going to the plate, throwing a pitch, and you know, especially ball deep in the hole like that, Brandon's usually getting at it, and you know, Joey's, you know, sometimes going after it. So you have to be mindful. And any ball that gets hit over there to that right side, you got to get over there to cover no matter what.
Hey, Matt, you got a 5-man rotation. That means 1 day of pitching and 4 days of sunflower seeds.
No, I'm working on my tan today. It's a nice hot day in Cincinnati.
You got a long way to go.
I'm sweating right now. Yeah, it's a hot day, but it's, you know, it doesn't get any better than this.
You can take lessons on getting a tan from the best ever right here next to me, George Grant.
Yeah, oh yeah, I got to pull the sleeves up.
That's it.
I got the shades on. I'm ready to go.
You're styling.
You're
styling,
I need a little lawn chair I can kick my feet up.
Here's the 2-0 to McCutchen. You know,
oh boy,
bright star in the game. McCutchen is one of the toughest outs that you'll face all year, isn't he?
That guy can hit. Let me tell you, he is so quick. You get him in, you burn him on an inside pitch, and he looks stupid on it. You come back with it again, and he does that right there, right in the hole, man. That's what he does. That's his game. He's so quick with his hands and getting to the ball. And he's so patient too. I mean, he looks for that pitch up, that off-speed pitch up, or he looks for that, you know, fastball middle in.
2 pretty good hitters standing next to each other down there, Votto and McCutchen, 2 young stars of this league, huh?
You think? that guy Joey Votto. What can you say about a guy like that?
You talk about pitching and defense combining. This defense has been something special to watch night in and night out. And when you turn around and look around the infield and around the outfield, you got to feel pretty good about the defense behind you.
Oh yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've whipped my head around real quick and looking for the ball in the outfield, and Brandon's got a glove on it, or Kozar's got a glove on it. So you know, and also the outfield with who we have. You know, choose everybody talked bad about Chu being out there in center field, and I think he's done a pretty good job of it. You know, kind of showing everybody that he can play. He's versatile. He can hit. He's a good teammate, good clubhouse guy too.
That misses inside to Garrett Jones. Jones struck out his first time up.
Matt, you've got to change your game a little bit to get more ground balls, maybe coming over to this ballpark or utilizing some good D behind you.
Yeah, I can't tell you my secrets because then they'll make adjustments. But yeah, that's the one key is the more ground balls. They can't hit home runs unless unless the ball's in the air. So or somehow some way they hit a ground rule or a grounder that makes it all the way to the outfield and they get in the park home run through a grounder. But it's just the adjustments. San Diego was a big ballpark. I can get away with a lot more fly balls. I can hang a lot of sliders, a lot of curve balls. Here you can't do it. You got to pitch in, mix the off-speed pitches up, and definitely have to pitch in, get those guys off that fastball away.
You go through a career, you might have a dozen different pitching coaches. You've got one of the best in the game right now.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I've had two of probably the best pitching coaches that are in the league right now. One in San Diego, Darren Balsley, and before I got traded over here, Balsley told me if there was one guy that I could that he could send me to, it would be Price. And Price does a really good job, and Mac Jenkins also. Mac's behind the scenes. Nobody really sees him with what he does. He's more of he's the computer nerd. He's the one that's inside, and he's the one that's looking up the stats and helping us out with small things here and there. So he's got a lot of credit going to him too.
They used to talk a lot about just hitters preparation, especially you in San Diego. Tony Gwynn really perfected the idea of using video, but it's become so much of an integral part of pitchers preparation now too, huh?
Yeah. A lot of times I like to go back and look at the team that I've faced for a long time, that batters I've faced 15, 20 times, and I like to see if there's anything that I've stuck to it. Whether I'm pitching the same way almost every at bat or every other at bat, just to see. Hitters make adjustments just like we do. They got the same video equipment, same video we do. So if they're going to make adjustments, we need to be one up or try to be one up on them.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Garrett Jones. That's looped into left. That's a base hit. Paul trying to stop it in front of the warning track. He will, but the speedy McCutcheon will end up going to third. So it's first and third.
All right, Homer.
Away. Get him back on the beam, Matt. Matt, thanks for spending some time with us. We really appreciate all
you guys
that
are
you
kicking
do
me off
for the
already. The
community
inning's
fund.
not even over yet.
If you could stay with us, great.
Hey, inning's not over yet. I'm going to wait for him to get this third out right here.
It's been a long inning, Matt. Maybe it's time for you to turn over if you're going to get an even 10.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'll turn over. We got another 7 innings left. I'll turn over then. Hey, if y'all want to kick me off, y'all can kick me off.
We like you.
I'll hang out,
Hey, you were just rooting right there. Get it in, get it in. Do you ever yell that when you're on the field?
No. It's my mistake, and it's always in the back of my head, get it in, but I don't like to yell out to the guys on the team. They know what they need to do. They know their job, but while I'm on the bench, I'll yell it out.
Here's Alvarez. Pedro struck out his first time up. This is a scary young hitter. When he is right, he can be tough, huh?
Yeah, his average doesn't show it, but he can swing the bat. You make a mistake and he'll hit it a long way.
2 innings in a row, and this has happened to you. It's happened to every pitcher. You get 2 quick outs, and then all of a sudden they get a base hit, and they extend the inning, and now you've got some issues going on. What happens sometimes with that, getting that third out?
Attaboy. Ooh. Too much plate. Sometimes it just happens. I mean, I guess you kind of get a little too complacent and make a mistake. Guy gets a double or a base hit, or you walk a guy. Next thing you know, you get runners on first and third. It's just a thing of bearing down right here. That's all he needs to do. He needs to bear down, get a nice little ground ball, or swing and miss like that. Homer's throwing real well right now. It's just a matter of execution right now, and he knows what he needs to do. He's bear down right here, guys on first and third. If he makes a good pitch, keep the ball down, let him get a little ground ball, let him roll over right here.
Laboring through this one. This will be his 25th pitch of this third inning.
It's a good pitch. Looks like a sac fly right here too. How's the booth up there? You guys nice and comfortable?
We're cool.
This isn't too bad up here. Cool. We can't work on our tans, but we stay pretty temperate.
Must be rough sitting in there, get you a nice beverage delivered to you, a couple hot dogs.
You got it. You're in the right spot down there.
Unbelievable. You guys got it made up there.
We all do, don't we? It's not bad when you're at the ballpark, right?
Nope, not at all.
There's the 1-2 line towards the alley. It'll be cut off by Bruce, but that'll get the tying run in.
Ball up.
So first and third.
Come on, Homer. Maybe I should get off here.
3 straight singles with 2 outs, and
we
we're
were
tied at
rolling
1.
along here. No, he'll get this out right here.
Hey, you've got your next start coming up in Arizona on Sunday, I think.
Yes, sir.
And how do you like pitching that ballpark?
It's not bad. It's a big ballpark, but it just depends on what they do.
The roof will probably be closed that day. I know the temperatures in Phoenix this time of year are about 110.
Yeah, it's about a 108, I think. But yeah, they sometimes they'll have that roof open, or not the roof open. They'll have the windows open. You know, kind of sucks the ball out in the left center. So, but it's a good ballpark to pitch in. I'll be honest with you. It's big. It's comfortable. Pitcher-wise, you know, you got a lot of room to work with. So you don't have to feel like you need to be too perfect, but you definitely don't want to make mistakes to that lineup. Montero and Goldschmidt in that lineup. I think they have Prado also, Cody Ross, guys like that.
Are you already preparing for that, or do you wait until you get there?
No, I've already went and looked at some video. I'm fortunate where I was over there for a little while. I got to pitch to a few of those guys on a consistent basis, so I feel pretty comfortable with a lot of those hitters. I am looking forward to facing Didi Gregorius, that's for sure. He's got a long time coming. We talked about that last year, September, when he got called up.
Yeah.
We talked about facing each other. So
great young man, isn't he?
Yes, he is an unbelievable shortstop. Diamondbacks got a heck of a guy at shortstop playing.
Hey, you went from a division, the West, that has 3 of the biggest ballparks in baseball, to the Central, where the parks are completely different. That takes an adjustment, doesn't it?
It does. It does. You know, it's like I said, San Francisco, Arizona, Colorado, even Colorado's huge, and San Diego before they moved the fences in. All big ballparks. You know, you can get away with hanging sliders right down the middle, or fastballs belt high, because they hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. 95% of the time it's not going out. So he's working his way over here towards me. So here, you got to keep the ball down. Like I said, you got to pitch inside. You can't just keep going away. A little bit of off speed here, a little bit of off speed there, away. Those guys adjust, start taking it into the right center field gap, taking it back up the middle.
There's a similarity between you and Homer too, in that both of you have really worked on a downward plane to stay down in the zone here in this park.
Got to catch it.
Loop to center.
That boy, Chew. That boy, Homer.
Got it.
Yeah. He's worked on that. He did all spring. It was, like I said, it's been amazing to watch, and I'm looking forward to to him being here for a long time. Me being here a long time too.
Attaboy Homer, attaboy Matt. Thanks, Matt.
Appreciate
Matt.
you guys. Thank you.
See you downstairs.
Yep.
Matt Latos, and don't forget, you can pledge $100 or more with 4 game tickets and a handsome Matt Latos bobblehead up for bid today. Hey, the Urban Youth Academy has played an important part in the lives of young people, and one young man in particular. Here's Brian Giesenslaw with the full story.
It's not hard for Darren Bowling to see himself on a major league field someday. The Reds Urban Youth Academy helped make that dream possible.
My 10th grade year, they passed out the flyers at school, and I seen one. I was like, well, I love baseball. Why not try it?
A left-handed pitcher at Cincinnati's Hughes High School, Bowling gave up a starting spot on the basketball team his senior season to focus on baseball.
I just did this for fun time, and then I started getting good at it and liking it and watching it more. I was like, well, maybe God's sending me here. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to do.
Working with instructors at the Urban Youth Academy the entire offseason, Bowling earned a baseball scholarship to Morehouse College, capping a senior season in which he threw a no-hitter for Hughes.
I didn't realize it till late in the game, and then somebody had said something. And I was like, oh, really? And then, so I was like, okay, well, I got to step it up even more. And then on the last pitch, I ended on the strikeout. So it was the greatest feeling ever.
The amount of time they spent with him working on technique and video, and he had a place to go and he had coaches to call. I don't think he missed basketball because he had that baseball community with the Reds Urban Academy to go to, and it paid off big time.
We are tied up at 1, Reds and Pirates here on Fox Sports Ohio, as we continue to salute the Reds Community Fund and all the volunteers involved. And my pleasure to introduce you to Rodney Sears. He is a coach in the 10-year-old league of the RBI program. Now, Rodney, you've been a coach in this program for many, many years. Tell us what it means to you, your family, and all the families involved.
Well, it's great to be part of such an organization that cares. I mean, we have a lot of support with Matt Wagner, Charlie Frank, Bill Daggy. It takes a lot of work to make sure you have a successful year, and these guys really go all out for us.
You have a special connection with NFL Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz. That has to be a cool connection to the team. Tell us about it.
Yes, it is. It's really neat to be a part of anything with Anthony Munoz. He really cares about the kids, and it's a very good relationship.
You have a very special young lady that is a major contributor to your team. Tell us about her and her family.
Yeah, I have Gabrielle Rodriguez here with me. She's plays shortstop. She has 2 brothers that also play for the Reds Community Fund. It's a really good situation.
How do you like being here at the stadium?
Awesome.
Awesome all around. One last question. I can speak firsthand. Athletics, just the involvement and giving kids something to do has to go a long way in their lives, the rest of their lives, with discipline and many other things that are positive.
Absolutely. We focus on that at every practice. We talk about doing the right thing, your education, morals, giving it your best every single day. So you're absolutely right.
Rodney, we salute you and all of your volunteers. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And one of the proudest days I've had, George and Chris, with the Reds is when they asked me to be on the Reds advisory board. And I proudly serve on that board, and I'd like to salute everyone involved.
JD, does that mean you get free lunches?
At times I do get free lunches.
That was
not
going
to lie.
Yeah, I got it.
Not going to lie.
Here's Chu, a bounder through the left side of the infield. Nice job, JD, and congratulations, Rodney, for all the work that you do too. So Chu is on for the second time. He reached on an error in the first, stole second, and scored on the Joey Votto hit.
2 ways to break a bat. One is in on the hands, one is at the very end of the bat, and it was the latter that sends that bat head flying right through the box. Look out there, Brandon Compton. Meanwhile, the baseball finds a way through the left side of the infield, and Chu reaches with 1 out.
Some action starting in the bullpen for the Pirates as Compton begins his 3rd inning of work. Here's Paul, who struck out first time up. Now, Chris, in the piece from Brian, mentioned Anthony Munoz, and in the next inning we're going to talk to Joe Morgan, who really is going over and above anything he ever did on the baseball field, which was Hall of Fame caliber, with what he's done off the field. And Anthony's another one of those guys who's continued to give back to this community in so many ways. That's what makes Cincinnati a special place. And he was a pretty good baseball player as a youngster too. He's a big catcher.
I bet he blocked the plate pretty well. Maybe that's where he got his start, protecting the quarterback and protecting the plate.
It's like hitting the Great Wall of China.
No thanks.
Duke Welker is up in the Pirates' pen, starting to loosen. Welker just came in from Indianapolis this morning. Got a call about 1:30 yesterday with the extra inning game. They needed an extra arm, so Welker caught an early flight today and got here just about game time. So he's up, starting to loosen. Short lead for Chu. Bluff's going. That's in the dirt.
Yeah, there's no day off for either of these teams. So when you have extra inning games and you have games where you have to cover innings with your relievers, and that's really more true for Clint Hurdle than it is for Dusty Baker. And he's seen that all year long. You become short of arms. After this game is over, the Pirates hop a plane. They head west to play the Angels of Los Angeles in a 3-game set over the weekend. Then they go to Seattle after a day off on Monday. Reds, meanwhile, begin a 3-city road trip that'll take them to Phoenix tonight, and then tomorrow, and then through the weekend, and then from there they go to play the Oakland A's and then over to Texas. So 3 very good ball clubs on the agenda for the Reds.
And 2 West Coast trips, this one and then another one a month from now when the Reds go San Francisco, LA, San Diego, back to back to back.
Well, I knew with the 2 West Coast trips the Reds are making this year that you weren't going to let both those go by without and miss them both.
Not my choice. They plugged me in where the holes are. Looking forward to it, though. And last year, one of the turning points for the Reds was the ability to win on that West Coast trip. This year will be very similar. It was right before the All-Star break last year. This year it's right after the All-Star break. Key trip. This one and the next one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A little bit bigger lead for Chu as he inches off the bag at first. He's going. McHenry's throw will be on the money, perfect, and Chu is nailed. So the Reds have their second base runner erased. Votto in the first and Chu here in the third, and there's 2 away.
Now there must be something in the scouting report that says the opportunity to run improves a whole bunch when you take Russell Martin out from behind the plate and replace him with Michael McHenry. But so far, McHenry has been up to the task.
So 2 down, and here at the plate still Xavier Paul with 2 away. Flag down by Sanchez, and they'll get the out at first. So the Reds get a base runner, nothing to show for it. We're tied at 1 as we head to the 4th. Neil Walker will lead it off when we return. And we'll visit with Joe Morgan.
The original outreach program of the Reds Community Fund is the Reds Rookie Success League. Now in its 10th year, it's a free co-ed character-building summer baseball program. Claremont County is one of the newest camps for the Rookie Success League. Brian Wilson Field at the Batavia Township Community Center hosted hundreds of kids as well as guest instructors, Reds pitcher Curtis Parch and outfielder Derek Robinson.
It just takes you back, you know, that when you were a little kid, how fun it was just to play, and for them to have the opportunity to mingle with, you know, professional ball players, that's awesome, because I didn't have that growing up. But yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun.
They first started off with asking if I could take my hat off to see my hair, and then take my sunglasses off, and then they started asking me some non-baseball questions. But it was cool, though. It was entertaining. It was funny.
Catch it.
Along with baseball instruction, the camps teach the 6 stars of success: cooperation, integrity, respect, education, determination, and spirit.
1, 2, 3.
Another auction item for you. The winner of this auction item can invite up to 3 people to join him or her on the field to view BP batting practice. Then the 4 of you will take a behind-the-scenes tour of Great American Ballpark. Then you can watch the game from the Fox Sports Ohio Champions Club. The package also includes a collection of game-used authenticated items from the night's game. And game date has to be mutually agreed upon and is based on availability. That's our Reds Authentic package. Starting bid $1,500 at MLB.com/auction. And speaking of authenticated merchandise, we've got one sitting with us right now. That's the Hall of Famer Joe Morgan joining us. And Joe, this is a special day.
Yes, it is.
Since coming back, I know you've been so much a part of what the Reds have done on the field. And every time you're at the ballpark, you're sitting next to Brandon Phillips, giving him pointers, spurring him on. But what you've done off the field is even that much more important for you.
Well, being honest with you, George, that's one of the main reasons I came back here. And I don't want to take credit for a lot of things that have been done, because they were doing these things before I came, and it was one of the things that attracted me to come back. In all those years on television, I used to be talking about the fact that there weren't as many African Americans playing Major League Baseball. There weren't as many urban kids, not just African Americans, but urban kids getting the opportunity to play Major League Baseball. And all the academies and the other countries were giving those kids a chance, and I always felt like we should give our kids a chance as well. And I'd been spouting this on TV, and it's one of those things, put your money where your mouth is. And the Reds were doing this, so I came back and lended what assistance I could to help get this Urban Academy done.
Here's Neil Walker to lead it off as we head to the 4th inning. Walker popped up first time up. And Joe, you know, I mean, Chris and I talk about it all the time. What you did on the field is Hall of Fame caliber. And when you look back on it, the Reds can be so proud. And Sparky said it. Sparky said, you know, you can take numbers and put them in a pocket someplace, but what someone does with the people around them to make them better is what makes a man a man. And he always pointed to you for that more than anything you ever did on the field.
Well, he always talked to me about those things. I was never, as you know, and Chris knows, I was never about numbers. I still, to this day, I'm not that numbers-oriented guy. I know that numbers mean something, you know, to the players today, and it means something, you know, to the fans. But what really is important is how you play the game. That's what's important to me. All my teammates that I play with, you know, on the Big Red Machine, they all could have had better numbers if they were selfish. But you know what? They were all about the team, and that's the way it goes. And Sparky obviously was at the head of that. And the fact now that, you know, the academy and the things the Reds are doing, and I'm a part of it, I'm very proud to be a part of it.
3 balls, 1 strike to Walker with McHenry on deck.
You know, Joe, like so many things, it starts with the top, and you've been to so many of these community functions, the Reds Community Fund functions, whether they're raising money or whether they're on the field dedicating a field, but there always seems to be a Castellini there. Right. I mean, they're there. They're just not there sitting back writing checks or coordinating the thing. It's one thing to be out there and actually getting your hands dirty.
Look, I've like you say, dedicated a lot of fields when I was a player with the Giants.
Joey bobbles it, then throws it away. The runner will be safe at first, and Frazier just does get to it before it goes into the dugout. So stopping at second will be Walker.
Joey goes over to his left, and just looks like it comes up on him a little bit. I mean, you know, you can play this a couple of different ways. You can try to get in front of it, block it, tilt your body forward. But when it gets away from you like that, you try to make something out of nothing. Looks like he really threw it hard to the covering pitcher. And I can tell you, as a covering pitcher, if you don't see the ball coming at you while you're running, trying to put your foot on the bag with one eye, eyeball the ball with the other, that's a tough thing for a pitcher to do.
You're almost better just putting it in your pocket. And in the end result, he'll get charged with an error for bobbling the ball, then an error on the throw for allowing the runner to go to second. So 2 errors on the play. That'll give Joey 9 for the season. And here's a runner in scoring position, and McHenry coming to the plate. And that play aside, Joe, I think as you look at the Reds in the last 3-4 years, if they're, other than, you know, outstanding pitching, but on the field, the improvement in team defense has been measurable and one of the keys to this team's success.
Well, there's no doubt the way that the Reds are built, pitching and defense, you know, everybody wants to see the home runs and all that, but last year our pitching really carried us, you know, to the playoffs, and also our hitting on defense, it was very good over the course of the whole season. Let me finish my point with yesterday I went out, you know, to the Reds Community Fund event at Schmidt Field, and when I pulled up, Bob Castellini was pulling up, the owner of the team. And when I walked in, Phil Castellini was already there.
Long run for Chu, and just like last night, a sliding catch robs McHenry of a hit. There's your first out of the inning.
But as Chris said, I've been to a lot of these. When I was a player and I played for the Giants, I went out to ballparks. When I was with the Astros, before I even came to the Reds, I've gone out to the ballpark with, you know, with people. And every time I went out there, I went with a public relations guy. I never went with the owner of the team or the COO of the team. It was always the public relations guy and me. So, and I actually mentioned that to Mr. Castellini yesterday when we were standing there. You know, I said, you know, this doesn't happen very often. I hope they appreciate it, meaning the kids, because they don't get a chance to see owners of a baseball team that often.
Here's the pitcher Compton showing bunt. They'll hold the runner at second, get the out at first, 2 away. You know, Joe, you mentioned the Big Red Machine guys not concerned about numbers, and that starts again at the top with Sparky and yourself in the leadership capacity. But the other side of it is every clubhouse is different. Every team
Right.
is different. And when you see people band together for that big goal, which is winning, that's when you know you got a team.
And you know what's great about that, George, is when you win, even though we haven't won a championship here recently, I'd say a world championship, we won the division championships. Even when you win a division championship, there's a bond that's formed between the people that are in that clubhouse. And no matter where you go after that, it's always there. And you win a world championship, and that bond becomes bigger because you get a ring. So guys are always going to be close to each other when they have success together.
So the runner at second, 2 away. And by the way, Ron Roth, the official scorer, just telling us that they have changed it from 2 errors to 1 error on the Joey Votto play. So Votto charged with 1 miscue. The runner's still sitting at second. This young man at the plate is a special talent, isn't he?
Yes,
Marte?
he is. They have 2 guys there. You know, of course, Andrew McCutchen is almost in a class by himself because he can do everything. And this guy, I'm one for swagger. I like the way a guy walks around and you can tell the confidence that they have in their ability. Not cocky, just a little swagger that says, you know what, I'm going to show you how good I am today. And that's what I get, you know, from the better players in baseball now. And Marte looks like he has that little swagger, and McCutchen has already developed it. So I think the Pirates are, you know, going to be a better team in the next few years than they have been. Obviously, they've had 20 years, I guess, of under 500 baseball. So, you know, they're looking forward to that.
Walt Jocketty's goal was not to win solely, but to put this team in a position where you could win every year, be competitive every year. And I think that's the same thing they're trying to do in Pittsburgh.
I think I agree with you. I don't think that people understand, you know, fans and even myself at times, we only look at what are we going to do this year. And that's the way a fan should be. But as a general manager and an owner of a baseball team, you know, Walt Jocketty, the Castellini family, they have to think about what it's going to look like 4 years down the road, 5 years down the road. Right now, we as fans say, what are we going to do this year? And that's all we're concerned with. And maybe that's all the fans should be concerned with.
It's like getting a mulligan here for Starling Marte.
No lie.
Yeah. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
I mean, it was pretty obvious. I don't, you know, to everyone but the person that counts, right?
And maybe, you know, it's umpire's interpretation. It's not whether he crossed the plate or broke the wrist or anything like that. It's whether he made an offer to swing at it. And he didn't call one earlier on Andrew McCutchen, who I thought went on that. And maybe he's just one of these umpires at first base that you have to be a little bit more dramatic in the way you go about swinging at it.
He swung at that one. Joe Morgan, thanks for all you do for the game of baseball, for the Cincinnati Reds, for the community fund.
Well, thank you very much. And like I said, that's the reason one of the reasons I came back here. And I'm always a pleasure to hang out with you 2 guys.
Thank you, Joe.
You're the best.
Okay, thanks.
Joe Morgan. And don't forget, to the Reds Community Fund, RBI stands for Reviving Baseball in the Inner Cities. The fund has been instrumental in the revival of boys' RBI programming here in Cincinnati. And for more, here's Brian Giesenslaw.
The boys RBI program was resumed by the Reds Community Fund in 2007. The junior team qualified for the RBI World Series in 2010 with a victory at Great American Ballpark over Detroit. The program features 10U to 18U age groups with a junior and senior team that compete in the RBI regional tournament. The 10U team is currently sponsored by Anthony Munoz. The Reds hope to host the World Series soon at the new Urban Youth Academy.
Welcome back to Great American Ballpark. We're tied 1-1 in Pittsburgh and the Reds, bottom of the fourth inning. I'm Jeff McCord, and I'm joined now by a very special person, Mr. Patrick Friel, the father of Ryan Friel. And first and foremost, Mr. Friel, the condolences of all of us at Fox Sports Ohio for the passing of your son Ryan this past December. And Ryan was such a huge part of the Reds Community Fund, and he was so beloved by the community. They have actually established an award called the Ryan Friel Heart and Hustle Award. And out at spring training, you were there. And what was the response like from the team, the coaches, the ownership of the Reds?
Oh, I was overwhelmed. I couldn't believe it. My intentions were to go up there to raise money for the fund. And when I got up there, all these wonderful people from all over Ohio were up there, and it was just like unbelievable when he put his picture up on the screen. It was couldn't help but get tears in my eyes because it brought back old memories of me being here.
So Joey Votto grounds out to second base. Mr. Friel, the Heart and Hustle Award, it kind of embodies what Ryan Friel was. When they talk about Ryan Friel, they never talked about the type of player he was, other than saying he was the biggest heart and he always hustled. He was a Pete Rose clone almost, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. In fact, he was called Little Pete. Everybody was referring to him as Little Pete. And I've always been a Reds fan, but I used to see Pete hustle, but I didn't know Pete did those kind of things.
Well, you've got to stand out by the front gate, and if you come out here to the ballpark, you can stop by and visit with Mr. Friel. We appreciate you taking a couple minutes for us, and again, our thoughts and prayers of all of us out to you and your family. I know this has been a great experience for you, trying to keep that flame alive that was Ryan Friel.
Well, it sure has been, and I just wanted to everybody know that we are doing this Heart, Hustle, and Spirit Award, and the proceeds are going through what he loved so much, and that was these young boys and girls that wanted to succeed in life and become a baseball player or a softball player. He loved them, and I want to carry on his work.
Well, we appreciate everything that you do. Thank you much, Mr. Friel.
Thank you very much.
All right, George, Chris, back up to you.
Thanks, Pick. Some great memories, Chris. You and I spent a lot of time with Friel and his mom and his dad and his grandma, who was quite a character in her own right. His heart at times was bigger than his body. What a special, special young man he was.
Well, his will to win and to help his team win was bigger, I think, than anything, George. I mean, he would do anything. We saw him try to run through walls to help his team win, and I'm just so glad that the spirit of Ryan Friel won't be forgotten, and this award will continue on and on.
Swing and a miss. Brandon Phillips retired. 2 away. Votto grounds out to first. Phillips strikes out. There's 2 away, and here's Jay Bruce. Our item number 3, the Mercedes-Benz Diamond Club experience. The winner of this auction item and 3 friends will view a Reds game up close and personal from the Mercedes-Benz Diamond seats. The ultimate baseball and entertainment experience features seating in the first 8 rows behind home plate, a pregame gourmet buffet, and in-seat food beverage service throughout the game. Jesse, I can see you salivating right now. You also get access to the private climate-controlled Diamond Club Lounge. This package also includes a parking pass as well. Special bid starting at $1,000 at MLB.com/auction. 2 away, and here's Bruce. Jay flied to right first time up.
Hey, one thing that Bruce Compton is doing, and doing very well in this ball game to this Reds ball club. I mean, he's limited the Reds to 3 hits through the first 3 2/3. He's pitching inside, just like every other one of these Pirates pitchers have. They're not afraid to come in. He did that to Brandon Phillips and really got him waving at a breaking ball. Not afraid to come inside again to Jay Bruce. Did the same thing with Joey Votto to lead the inning off and get a ground ball to the second baseman.
I think you're talking about 2 pitching coaches, Brian Price and Ray Searage, who both believe that to control the strike zone you have to pitch inside.
Well, I played with Ray Searage in the minor leagues, and I can tell you that he was a bulldog, and he didn't throw all that especially hard, and the only way that he stayed in the major leagues, and I think he spent parts of 7 or 8 seasons in the big leagues, but he struggled to stay there because he had to be a bulldog. He had to use the entire strike zone. I think he's excellent at conveying that message. And Brian Price, I just think the world of him as a pitching coach, and he's helped everybody on this ball club do the same thing.
Full count 3-2 to Bruce with Frazier on deck. There's Brian Price, who will turn 51 this weekend.
Both former left-handers. Can't let that go by without a mention.
Heading back home, University of California Golden Bear pitcher in his college days. Hit pretty good to center field. Back is McCutcheon looking up. It's going to be gone. The Beaumont Bomber strikes again. This time it's a lead. Last night it was a tie, and this one will give the Reds a 2-1 lead. What a sweet swing, Chris.
That certainly is. You know, right now he's relaxed. He just missed hitting one in the first inning when Compton pulled the string on him and got him on a changeup. But he goes 3-2 again, just like he did in the first inning. And that time it's a backdoor slider that Compton tries to fool him on, and Bruce kind of waits an extra moment before he lays the wood to it. Boy, McCutcheon took 2 steps and said,
Yeah.
No chance for me.
Wave bye-bye.
Boy, when he gets hot, they come in bunches.
Home run number 15. And speaking of bunches, I think Joel Luckup had an inclination, a premonition of what was going to happen. He was riding it before the swing came. 4th home run in 5 games. Lucky. Good job, Lucky. By the way, great job on that book. Outstanding. We're going to give Chris some questions on it later.
I got a copy of it and read it. I'll tell you, it's a very interesting book. What is it? The 100 things that Reds fans must know or do before they die.
Take batting practice from Chris Welsh.
Well, sorry, too late. Those were actually pension days. I was going batting practice.
Here's Frazier, bounced to third first time up. So another round tripper from Bruce, and the Reds lead it 2-1. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Reds. A run, 5 hits for the Buccos. Down to third, but foul in the third base coach's box today, as usual, is Chris Spire. And Chris, it's great to see Mark Berry back at the ballpark. Had a chance to talk to him yesterday, spent some time with him today. Chris taking over Berry's third base coaching duties. Mark is on the bench, getting back. He's going to go on this road trip with you guys. There's a looping liner into left. That's a base hit, and he's going to turn and head to second. Now he'll slam on the brakes, and he'll just get back to first. Good idea from Frazier, but a good job by the speedy left fielder Marte to haul that in at the foul line.
Now that's the way you take a turn right there, especially when the play is in left field in front of you. He goes down and get a good pitch. I mean, Compton's thinking, how'd you hit that ball, Todd Frazier? Well, slam on the brakes. And coming on back, Marte got to this ball in a hurry, and the guy's got a gun out there.
Another one-hand special.
I hope they're not teaching that swing at the new Urban Academy. I mean, it's one thing to have his photo up there and endorse it, and even have him come out and work with the kids. Even he doesn't teach that swing when he works with kids. I mean, that's something that you got to be doing it your whole life to be successful.
Remember when Lance Berkman first came up and he'd take that crazy swing, and Craig Biggio called it goofy pop. You know, it's just a different kind of pop. You know, that you got that extension and somehow you find a way to put the bat on the ball. That's goofy pop, and he could be off balance in one hand and still hit it hard.
Well, shake hands with Todd Frazier, and you realize in a moment why he can get away with that, because his hands and wrists are so strong. And he wields a very heavy piece of lumber up there. And you center it on the baseball, and it goes a long way.
Here's Zach Cozart, bounced out first time up. That'll kick all the way to the backstop. Frazier will go to second. So after a visit, trying to settle Compton down, and you have to figure that where he's sitting now at 67 pitches, that they're just trying to tell him with action still in the bullpen that get through this inning and we'll take it from here. But
I really think that in this ballpark, in a rivalry like this, in the 4th game of a 4-game series, the mental fatigue that Compton is going through right now, just a second major league start, is way more important than what his physical fatigue is based on his pitch count. I mean, this ballpark wears you out because every pitch you're conscious about leaving one up, and having somebody hit one out. And of course, just 2 batters ago, you saw Jay Bruce go right out the front door with a long home run to center field. Everybody's capable here, and that's what makes you so fatigued at the end of a ball game.
Breaking ball misses. Matt Latos really hit the nail on the head when he talked about it moving from the National League West. When he talked with us earlier in the game today, where you have San Francisco, San Diego, Arizona, Colorado, big ballparks, to these ballparks, it's a different way to pitch. McHenry just gets the glove on it. That's ball 4, so it's first and second, 2 on. All of this started with 2 outs. Votto grounded out, Phillips struck out, Bruce homered, Frazier singled, Cozart walked, and here comes Hannigan. Pirates come into today a game and a half back of the Reds, 4 game back of the Cardinals. The Reds 2.5 back of St. Louis. 2 teams that had played very well at home. The Reds with 26 victories at home. That's more than anyone else in the National League. The Pirates with 25 at home, and the Reds much better on the road of late, hoping to continue that when they hit the road after today's game. Well, Frazier trying to get every inch of his lead off second, with the Reds leading 2-1. Frazier, good speed out at second. Cozart down at first. 1 ball to Hannigan. Bailey on deck. That clips the corner. 2-1. With 2 away. Great to have you with us, George Grant, Chris Welsh. Tremendous effort by Brian Hunterman to put together so many of our vignettes today. With Brian Giesenslaw on the Reds Community Fund. Matt Coyner, Rob Overberg did a great job of editing the pieces, and we'll continue them for the remainder of today's ball game. And as usual, down in the truck, our crew trying to bring you baseball and the community fund on this day. Lazy fly ball to right. Jones is there. He'll haul it in. The Reds will strand a pair. They get a run on Jay Bruce's homer and lead it 2-1. Don't forget, this August, the community of Avondale is going to benefit from the generous support of the Reds Community Fund, Procter & Gamble, and other area companies. For more, here's Aaron Eisel.
P&G is proud to partner again this year with the Cincinnati Reds for the P&G Cincinnati Reds Annual Community Service Day, and we have chosen the community of Avondale this year to do our work in. We're going to be rehabbing 3 baseball fields, adding and building a premier field here on the Avondale community. It's going to have its own home run fence, batting cages, and we're also going to be expanding the field so that it's able to be played at higher levels versus where it is today.
All of our community, the faith-based institutions, anchor institutions, businesses, and residents are so excited about the Reds and Procter & Gamble's investment in our recreational area. The additional dugouts and scoreboard, and the opportunity for Gabriel's Place, our sustainability center, to be upgraded. It's just an exciting and very inspirational time for Avondale and its current revitalization.
We will be doing a bunch of work to help promote healthy eating for kids here in the community. Avondale does a tremendous job of having a farmer's market where they grow their own food and sell it, and we're going to be helping to refurbish that and help them market it, as well as some work inside the recreation center, as well as the St. Gabriel's Place. So really, we are thrilled and excited to be partnered with the Reds again, and just cannot wait to see the impact that we can have on the community of Avondale here in Cincinnati.
The kids will benefit most, and this thing will be long lasting, and I think that's what our application was all about.
Well done. Back at Great American Ballpark, the Reds lead the Buccos 2-1. We go to the top of the fifth. Time for our auction item number 4, our Fireworks Friday experience. This is a great one. The winner of this auction item is going to be honorary captain and deliver the Reds official lineup card to the umpires prior to the Reds Brewer game. That'll be in August, Friday, August the 23rd. Then you'll catch the game from the stands on the first base side on 4 infield box seats, great seats. After the game, you and your group is going to have a front row seat for the evening's fireworks display from the visitors' dugout. The best fireworks in all of baseball right here. The auction winner will have the ability to invite up to 3 additional people to join him/her on the field following the game, and Jesse Jackson is available to be invited. Right, Jesse? Starting bid $500. You can place your bid at MLB.com/auction. Back at the ballpark, we welcome, as we continue to honor the community fund from the Cincinnati Reds, Phil Castellini, the chief operating officer of the Reds, as we head to the top of the 5th inning and the Buccos trailing 2-1. Phil, what can you say? When you guys took over in 2006, there were a lot of different ways you could go, a lot of different things you could do, and it was at your urging that the community fund went in a direction to dig into the community, to dig into ball fields. Here's a fly ball to center. Choose there, and he has it. And boy, has it grown since then.
Well, there's no question. It was really a two-pronged approach. The first thing we wanted to do was market this team in the region again, not just Greater Cincinnati. And it's always been a regional team, as you know, and also getting kids to play baseball in that same region that we call Reds Country. And so the work with the community fund, paralleling our marketing efforts in all of these, Reds Country communities, it's really gone hand in hand, and that was part of the formula from day one.
I don't think, in all the teams we've seen and organizations we've seen, some have come up a little bit, some have come up a lot, but no organization has gone from where the Reds were 10 years ago to where they are now in terms of the community fund. You are a model for everyone, not just in baseball, but in professional sports.
Well, it's a culture thing, and I got to give Dad and Walt Chockety and Dusty credit. Part of it is having the fans connected to the players and the players connected to our community outreach. And without that, you can't set the hook as well. Not only get kids playing the game, there's a lot more things for kids to do these days, And so first you got to introduce them to the game, and then hopefully introduce them to the team as fans of the Reds and future season ticket holders and maybe future players. When you talk about all of what we're doing with RBI and the Urban Youth Academy, at the end of the day, part of that vision is to create Reds players of the future too, and that's part of the dream, and we hope we can accomplish that.
Well, to have dream is one thing, but actually to find the funding and find the ground and then get it built and so on, for especially the Urban Youth Academy, that's a whole different story. That's taken a lot of work to get it going.
Yeah, there's no question, and that project kind of ballooned. We wanted to make it a winter training facility for the inner city kids that was worthy of putting our brand on, and P&G stepped up in a big way with Kroger's help in the league. Certainly MLB, the commissioner's office, has stepped up in a big way, as of many other partners and players as well. In particular, Jay, Joey, and Brandon have all chipped in a big way, and other players in different ways, and it's just been a fantastic team effort. Charlie Frank and his crew do such a fantastic job in the community, and it really is a great story. And to have it paralleled with the team performance on the field, accelerating, and the fans coming. To have a sellout today, on a businessman special. We haven't done this since the Yankees were in town, if you remember. And, did it before that in 06, so this is really special. I just got to figure out a way to get them all in the ballpark a little quicker. A lot of traffic out there today.
What are you most proud of?
Well, on the business side, I think it's certainly greatly improving the fan experience, and all we hear about how enjoyable it is to come to the ballpark, because that's the kind of thing. The easiest thing to do is be nice to the customer, right? That's free. So that would be, I think the greatest accomplishment on the business side, relevant to the 81 events we put on per year. In the community, I think it's the growth of all of the baseball programs, both girls softball and baseball, that get these kids playing the game and get the kids that were already playing the game, helping with those programs and the funding in Knothole, and then getting those kids to come to the ballpark. You saw the parade today. So to see our community work and the business work and the fan experience all come together, it's really, like I said, that was a formula we were attempting to put together starting back in '06, and it's kind of nice to see it bearing fruit now.
You've touched so many lives. You continue to do so, Phil, and the whole Castellini family and this ownership group can be proud of what you're accomplishing.
Well, thanks so much. Great to see you, George, and we thank Fox again for everything they're doing today.
Thanks, Phil.
Have a great day, guys.
Phil Castellini, the Chief Operating Officer of the Reds. Hey, Reds fans asked, and the Reds and the Community Fund have answered. Now there is a source for fans to purchase game-used collectible items. Here's Brian Giesenslaw.
The word authentic is defined as not false or copied, genuine, real. And that concept was the driving force behind one of the newest initiatives at Great American Ballpark.
This program was truly a progression that was inspired by our fans and their interest in game use and autographed memorabilia.
The Reds Authentic Shop has a home on the third base concourse at Great American Ballpark, and it's exactly what the name implies. Game-used balls, bats, jerseys, lineup cards, even bases. Most of it autographed, some of it from the game being played that day. About half of the major league teams have a similar program, but not every team uses the money generated from the sale of game-used gear in the same way. Reds Authentics revenue is earmarked for one specific purpose. The money goes towards the Reds Community Fund's effort to build an urban youth baseball academy in Cincinnati. Players regularly spend time before games autographing items.
We like signing autographs for, kids out in the field and stuff, but, when we get to sign stuff here and get it authenticated and know that it's going to go to the Community Fund or any organization that needs the help, is pretty cool, so that's why we do it.
Reds lead the Pirates on Fox Sports Ohio as we continue our tribute to the Reds Community Fund and those involved. And I am up in the upper deck. I am with the people right now. And one of these guys is Marty Mashak. He's been involved with the Reds Rookie Success League for a decade. It's been around 11 years. Why is it so important for you to be involved?
I tell you, it was 10 years ago. My wife and I were at a game. We saw a big advertisement on the board. I ran around the stadium that day, finally got in touch with CRC. They hooked me up with the Reds Rookie Success League, and it's given back to the children. I mean, they're wonderful kids. They come out every day. Mondays and Tuesdays, one group. Wednesdays and Thursdays, the other group down to Schmidt Fields. And they come out for character education. We are blessed to have the Cincinnati Reds in the area. They're our anchor. They're the hook. We get them in with baseball and just giving back to the community.
That is terrific. Now, you guys have over 1,800 kids in the park today. Many of them are behind us in the lime shirts. It has to be very cool for these kids to be here today.
Absolutely. One of the neatest things is bringing them down here. They have a great experience. The Reds, the generosity that they continue to give to the program is it's wonderful.
They met the Reds players yesterday, I understand, some of them.
Yes, they did. Tony Cingrani, Devin Mesoraco, and there was a gentleman who hit a home run last night.
Bruce.
Yes, that's the guy. That's the guy. And they come down, and they've just been wonderful. In the past, the great guys that have come down, Ryan Friel, he was one guy that came down all the time. Chris Dickerson, when he was on the DL, he'd come down and just give back to the kids. They know it's about the kids, it's about the community. It's the best experience out there.
One last question. There's nothing like seeing these youngsters' eyes light up when they meet a major league player or just being involved in the game. It's the best, isn't it?
It is, but it's not just the little guys. My eyes light up, too.
That is awesome, and I can tell that you are very proud and really makes your day to contribute. And George and Chris, once again, we salute everyone involved. And this guy's been involved for a decade and has influenced so many young lives, and we are so appreciative of his efforts.
Thanks, JD. Great job as usual, and congratulations. Thanks to Marty for all the effort. By the way, speaking of Marty Brenneman's going to join us a little bit later on. Still a whole lot more folks to talk to. Kim Nuxall is going to be joining us to talk a little bit about the Nuxall family and this community fund. And it'd be great to talk to Marty. That's still, I mean, the golf tournament's been amazing. The haircut was something special. Just what a unique aggregation of efforts by people, of individuals, of programs that have come together to make the Reds Community Fund what it is. Here's Shin-Soo Choo. Reached on an error, scored in the first, singled in the third. '85th pitch of the day from Compton. That's down and in.
And there he is again, pitching inside, just like every one of these Pirates pitchers. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you know, that's the one reason why a guy like Brandon Compton can pitch successfully in the major leagues. And really no outstanding. He's a two-pitch pitcher. Occasionally he's thrown a couple of changeups. I mean, he's just kind of working the ball in and out, but the hitters have really not felt all that comfortable. I mean, Bruce has put 2 good swings on the baseball. Joey Votto has put 1 good swing on the baseball, but there hasn't been really a whole lot of really good, comfortable looking at bats by the Reds.
3-2. Looped into short center. Here comes McCutchen, and he'll haul it in.
Another changeup, a rare one right there. I mean, he came into this ball game, Compton, throwing only about 3 or 4% of all of his pitches. Changeup. So if you throw 100 pitches in a ball game, you're only talking about 3 or 4 changeups in an entire ball game. Well, he's had recorded a couple of key outs. One, he got Jay Bruce on a changeup on a 3-2 count. Here he goes 3-2, and he pulls the changeup out of his pocket again.
You think Jay Bruce went to school next time up on that pitch?
Well, he got a breaking ball the next time up, but it was kind of a hanger, but it had the same effect as a changeup where it comes in slow. So, yeah, I think the same thing happened with Bruce and Jason Grilli the night before. He got a fastball, got jammed on it. Next night, he did the unjamming.
For Jay Bruce, the home run he hit off Grilli for the first time this year, Grilli was 25 of 25 in save opportunities. First blown save for him of the year. Nice to sit next to the hitting coach after you homer, huh? It's the way to do it.
I think Rupert Jacoby says, sit next to me here. I want to be on TV a little bit.
And you talk about, we mentioned Matt Latos, mentioned Mac Jenkins and what he's done behind the scenes, and the same thing with Ronnie Ortegon and Brooke Jacoby, the way they've combined to make this a very valuable hitting process. Swing and a miss. Paul is retired, so the Reds go 1-2-3. They still lead it 2-1, 2-5-1 for Cincinnati, 1-5-1 for Pittsburgh. Don't forget, for a minimum donation of $100, fans will receive 4 view-level tickets to a Reds home game and a Matt Latos bobblehead. To donate, call 513-765-7300, or you can make a donation online at reds.com/community. That bobblehead can be yours. special auction items available to fans today, with the proceeds going to the Reds Community Fund. The special items include the Cincinnati Reds fan experience, a Reds Authentics package, a Mercedes-Benz Diamond Club experience, and a Fireworks Friday experience. Bid at MLB.com/auction. Then select the Reds auction from the team drop downs. Bidding ends at midnight on June the 27th. So if you're watching this game on a replay, you can still bid at MLB.com/auction all the way till June the 27th. And thanks for helping the Reds Community Fund continue to do the great work that it does. Here it's a 2-1 lead for the Reds. And one of our favorite people will visit with us on this very special day. Joe Nuxall's son, Kim Nuxall. Kim, always great to see you.
Great to see you, George. What a great surprise. I didn't know you were working today, so this is awesome.
This isn't work. Yeah. This is fun.
Didn't know you were hanging out in the booth today.
As your dad always says, when you're at the ballpark, it's not working. It's
That's
fun,
right. That's right. That's right.
That'll live with us forever, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations on all the great work you continue to do.
Well, thank you. You know, it's just it's an honor for me. You know, every time I walk into the stadium and see Dad's statue, I sense that, and you know, like I said, it's honor for me to keep the torch. You know, his legacy is going strong, but it takes a lot of people, and we have great help.
That torch includes the Reds Community Fund, and you've teamed up, and the work that Charlie Frank has done is pretty special as you look at what it's done in Reds country.
Oh, it is. I'm so grateful to Charlie. He gave us the opportunity 7 years ago. We brought Reds rookie from Cincinnati to Butler County, and it's going strong. We have 300 plus kids down here today enjoying the game.
Here's Homer Bailey, who's staked to a 2-1 lead, facing Alvarez, then Sanchez, then Walker.
Your dad had so many dreams, Kim, of helping kids in the community, different things that I mean, it's had scholarship funds from this golf tournament that's been going on for a couple of generations, it seems now.
28 years.
Yeah, 28 years, and you know, so many other things too.
This one hit a ton to right. That's going back, and it's going to be out of here. You heard Matt Latos talk about Alvarez, that when he centers one, he can hit it a long way, and he sure does here. His 16th home run of the season has tied this game at 2 here in the 6th.
They've kept his offense production in this series limited to really base hits. But his batting average is low. He came into this at bat batting .216, but he still can hit him a long way. That is home run number 16 on the year, and Alvarez gets a whole bunch of a little cutter on the inside part of the plate. Could have been a slider right there, but he just dropped the bat head and got to it. But Kim, going back to what I was going to bring up is about the Miracle League the Miracle League field that you have just completed and opened in Fairfield. It's a double field, and you just got to be grinning ear to ear every time you drive by it.
You know, I do. Every day I go down there, I shake my head or I tear up thinking what's taking place down there. We have leagues going. We have ages 6 to 69 playing in our leagues, and that's very inspiring. And the other piece with the Reds Community Fund, our Reds Rookie Program, we are now able to take all 300 of our Reds rookie kids down to the Miracle Leagues and experience playing ball in a wheelchair, and that's been very powerful this last 2 weeks.
Explain the concept of the Miracle League field and who it benefits.
You know, it's a very simple concept. Started a little town out of Atlanta, Georgia. Basically 2 rubberized fields, and it serves the kids in wheelchairs and walkers and other disabilities. And I'll tell you, when you see a kid, we had a kid from Hebron, Kentucky come up last fall, played ball for the first time. It's quite a feeling. It's quite a feeling to see.
This one sliced in the air to center. Back is Chu at the warning track. He'll haul it in, and Gabby Sanchez is retired. He's 0 for 3, a strikeout, 2 fly ball outs. Kim, when I went out with you last year to watch the work on your field and to see the guys, it was a labor of love for each one of them. I mean, donating time, donating materials, donating their effort, and every one of them had a smile. Every one of them. I mean, you were almost in tears as we sat there and talked about it. What a group.
You know, that was as much of the project as anything, the story of building it. And George, you know, we talked about this, relationships, you know, that's really what life's all about. And here's my high school football buddies from 40 some years ago, us getting together and making this miracle happen. and friends of friends and so on. That piece of it is something I'll treasure for the rest of my life.
This community fund has taken things to another level here. Your dad always believed in the community, and therein is a genesis of what this organization has done. They've taken what his thoughts were and made this something so special.
Yeah, I think Mr. Castellini, I remember Dad saying the first thing that happened when Mr. Castellini bought the team, he called Dad up, and Dad was so impressed with that. And I think that just registered with Dad even further what he wanted to do and help the community. Dad, just like you two, you guys get it. You know how fortunate you are to be doing what you're doing, and Dad always sensed that, and his way of giving back was helping kids in the community. He knew how fortunate he was, the life he had, and anything and anytime he could do anything to help kids, he did it. And here, I said, it's an honor for me to be working with Charlie Frank in a small way. It's just something that's something I commit to for the rest of my time here as well.
As a teacher, you believed in character development. Character development is so critical to our young people.
Yeah, that's really why I got involved in the community fund with the Reds Rookie Success League. I'd heard they were talking about character, and I truly believe that's the other half of education, I call it, that we need to start taking a closer look at, no doubt. But we're doing what we can up in Butler County.
Walker grounds out, 2 away, and that brings up the catcher Michael McHenry. That guy down at second's pretty good, isn't he?
Woo. Big time. Loves what he's doing too. That's what I love about Brandon. His enthusiasm. Yeah, I think he realizes there's only so much time you're out on that field. He makes the most of it, no doubt.
I think that's what your dad loved about him too.
Yeah, no kidding. Dad would have loved all these players. They're good character guys. They're doing things in the community. We had a couple of players up the other day at our Miracle League. So that's what it's all about. It's not just about playing ball. It's what are you going to do with this privilege you have to play baseball.
Your dad will always be one of our favorites. How's Donzetta doing? How's Mom?
Yeah, Mom's doing great. She was down in the game last night. Yeah, so she's doing fine. Thank you.
So she was the good luck charm last night.
That's right. That's right. Need to bring her back more often.
She always has been, right?
That's right.
Amen. With the pitcher spot due up next, Travis Snyder's moved into the on-deck circle. No balls, 2 strikes. Bailey trying to close it out here in the 6th with McHenry at the plate.
Now Bailey is, of course, probably on his final part of his leash. Had 109 pitches now. He's won. Actually, Homer's the only Reds pitcher this year to go over 115 pitches in one ball game, and he's done that 3 times. I don't particularly think that's an excessive number of pitches, but they're very careful with guys nowadays. But Homer's been that kind of a workhorse to throw more than anybody else out there, and he's still throwing hard. And the reason I think that Dusty Baker keeps him out there is partly what you can see on your television set when he fires it up there. We give you the radar gun reading. He throws harder in the 7th, 8th innings than he does in the 1st and 2nd innings. It's like it takes him a couple of innings to get uncorked and loose, and now he's throwing a ball at 95 consistently. Early in the ball game was around 92.
0-2 to McHenry. Didn't go. Tim, you watch the development of players. You've seen Homer when he came up as a high schooler. In fact, 5 years ago when we did the first community fund game, Homer was pitching that day and hadn't won a major league game at that point. It's been great to see him grow up, huh?
Oh, it has. I was just thinking the very same thing, George. I remember watching him the first spring training and being impressed with his work ethic, and I think it's paid off. He's stuck with it, that perseverance, and that maturity. Yeah, he's really come into his own, no doubt.
Here's the 1-2. Look out.
Yeah, you don't want to hang that inside there to Michael McHenry. You just look at the body type McHenry has. I mean, very short, very strong, stout, short arms. He's the kind of guy that gets on an inside pitch like nobody's business. So I think now that Homer Bailey's ahead in the count, you've seen that he and Hannigan want to get away with that pitch. On the outer part of the plate, meaning you want to get that baby over here somewhere.
You and Hannigan are on the same page, and You ask, you shall receive, Chris Wells.
You got to lay it out there. That's a good pitch by Homer Bailey.
Tim, congratulations on all you do.
Thank you,
Great
George.
seeing you.
Thank
Best to Bonnie.
Great to see you guys. Thank you, Chris.
Good to see
Appreciate
you,
it. You too. Thank you.
Kim Nuxall joining us as we celebrate the community fund, and Homer nods to the home plate umpire, Paul Emmel. He is in a 2-2 ball game. A local college baseball team has a brand new home. A Red Scout has a lasting legacy, and a Red Star has played a major part. That's the story. Here's Brian Giesenslaw with it.
This spring, the University of Cincinnati Claremont College baseball team hosted the first opening day in the team's new ballpark. Brian Wilson Field is the result of a sizable donation from Reds right fielder Jay Bruce and the hard work of the Reds Community Fund. Brian Wilson spent 13 years in the Reds organization as a player, coach, and scout. He was the lead scout for the state of Texas when he signed Bruce and then passed away unexpectedly of a heart attack the following year at the age of 33. Brian Wilson Field is the culmination of a specific plan by Bruce to honor the memory of his friend and give a lasting gift to Wilson's wife and 3 daughters.
For me, it's a moral obligation to myself, and time, and a little bit of money doesn't take a whole lot. It's just people all coming together and really doing something that's very, very special, and it's going to affect people for years to come. And I think that's something that's very, very important.
We are back in the call center for the Reds telethon and auction. Remember, the auction goes until next Thursday at midnight. The telethon all day today. Matt Latos here says call up and donate. 513-765-7300 is the number. If you donate $100, you get 4 tickets to the July 4th game, Reds and the San Francisco Giants, and this Matt Latos bobblehead for just $100. There are many levels that you can bid on, or just call in with the telethon. And again, the auction goes until next Thursday. Some great items. All you have to do is go to MLB.com, and you'll get more details there /Red. So it's a great site, plenty of stuff. And don't forget, for $100, you get 4 tickets to the game July 4th versus the Giants and a Matt Latos bobblehead. The calls are coming in. Look, Nisha just got a call here as well. Hopefully that's another $100 to the Reds Community Fund. Again, this goes on all night tonight, and the auction goes until next Thursday. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Pick, for keeping us up to date. And here the Reds knotted in a 2-2 ball game. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Reds, 2 runs, 6 hits for the Buccos. Each team has committed a miscue. Pirates have left 6, the Reds only 3. Joey Votto will lead it off as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Phillips and Jay Bruce will follow. And we started this day, Chris, talking about the starting pitching story, and that's continued with Homer Bailey today.
Homer Bailey has simply dominated the Pittsburgh Pirates in his major league career. It seems like every time he plays the Pirates, he can throw his glove out there, and they're not going to score too many runs. In fact, they got to figure they did a nice job today just by getting 2 off of Bailey in 6 innings. They made him work. They've got him pitch count up to the point where he's going to be out of the ball game after this, obviously. And it's a good outing for Homer again. Real consistent outing, and it's good to see.
Ryan Morris, the new pitcher for the Buccos. Morris takes over after Brandon Compton went 5 innings, allowed only the 5 hits and 2 runs. The 2 runs coming on a single by Joey Votto in the first after Chu reached on an error, stole second. Votto singled him home. The Reds led 1-0. And with the game tied at 1, Jay Bruce homered with 2 outs in the 4th to give the Reds a 2-1 lead. The homer by Alvarez now is tied it at 2. Votto bangs this one in the right. That's a leadoff hit in the 6th inning. Great to have you with us, George Grant, Chris Welch, Jeff Pecoro, Jim Day, filling you in on a day where we talk baseball and the Reds Community Fund.
Well, a typical 2-hit day for Joey Votto. He gets maybe a cut fastball coming up and into him, and he just turns on it. I think the Pirates in this series have tried to challenge Votto on the inner part of the plate. Unless you get it way in there, you're not going to get in there enough to keep him from hitting the ball hard.
Here's Brandon. He had the game-winning hit last night in the 13th. He singled in the first, struck out in the 4th. Votto off first. He was out trying to steal back in the first inning. Swing and a miss for a strike. Only other games this afternoon. Milwaukee leads Houston 3-0. They're in the third at Houston. In that interleague game, Oakland and Texas underway, scoreless in the third. In the fifth, Minnesota leads the White Sox 6-1 in the fifth. Reds start the day 2.5 back of the Cardinals. Pirates 4 back in the Central. Jay Bruce on deck with Phillips at the plate. Down in the truck, great to have Josh Hall, our producer. Roy Alfers, our director. Matt Sigafus dialing up some highlights for you. Lauren White. Kent Dreamweaver, as usual, taking care of our pregame festivities today. Great to see the best crew in baseball today and be in town for today's game, to be a part of a very special day for the community fund and for baseball on this sellout business day special day at Great American Ballpark. Jesse Jackson, you're doing a great job up here as usual, man. John Browdy's still in mourning over Syracuse losing the lacrosse championship game. Chris.
An upset.
Yep. One ball, one strike. Shortened up his lead with those two tosses over there. Runner not going. Does he hold on it? And it's a strike. 1-2. Boy, Chris, you sit and talk to Kim Nuttall. It's like talking to Joe, isn't it?
You know what? It really is.
Makes you feel good.
Well, he's done such a good job and never letting the flame that Joe Nuxall had burning in his heart to help the community, help the kids especially, to never be extinguished. And Brandon's just not the same. I don't know whether, you know, players go through. They get hot, they get cold, they get hot, they get cold. No one can ever figure out what that means. They say, I'm in the zone, I'm seeing the ball right now. Other times it's like, wow, I'm struggling with my mechanics and I'm not seeing the ball. Well, Brandon's at one of those times. Unfortunately, it just happens to coincide with the time that he was drilled on the arm in that series in Pittsburgh. This is going back a while. This is going back about 55 or so at bats. So, you know, for a guy that is still among the leaders in RBIs in the league, you miss his bat when he's not swinging it like he can.
Well, Bruce has been swinging it like he can. His homer in the fourth gave the Reds a 2-1 lead. His fourth homer in the last 5 games. That's down and in for a ball.
It's a hard-looking cutter. And Morris fires in there. Morris is a guy you could say is from Reds country. Was born in Woodbury, Tennessee. Went to high school in Tullahoma. In his senior year as in high school, he started the season out with back-to-back no-hitters. That got the attention of the scouts.
Not bad. That's dribbled foul, a ball and a strike.
3-2 count for Jay Bruce was in the 4th inning, and he just got it going to dead center field. That was a breaking ball. One of the few mistakes that Brandon Compton has made on the afternoon, but Jay Bruce was there, fortunately, to take advantage of it.
Talking to Jay before the game today, he remembered that first community fund game that we had 5 years ago. He made a sliding catch that day when Homer was on the mound. And he also remembers this day because of the work that he did in helping to fund the field that was named in Brian Wilson's honor. If you joined us earlier, you hopefully saw the package that we did with Brian Giesenslaw. Brian Wilson has meant so much to so many young players, not just the ones that he signed for the Reds, but young players that he nurtured in Texas. Jay, one of them. Here's the 1-2. Got it. Well, Morris
got the strikeout pitch working.
He's got his second and 3 batters. So the runner's still at first, 2 away, and here comes Frazier.
Yeah, it looks like both the strikeouts have come on some type of an off-speed pitch. I'm not exactly sure what Morris throws that he's firing down and away. It looks like a down and away to Brandon Phillips, down and in to Jay Bruce.
Here comes Frazier. Todd grounded out and single to left.
Well, to kind of continue the story with this pitcher Morris. So he gets drafted in the first round by Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay does not come through on their pre-draft offer to give him $1 million signing bonus. So he said, well, I'm not signing. He goes to play for a junior college, Motlow State, where his dad was an assistant coach, and ended up getting drafted again by the Dodgers in 2006. Signed for a bonus there of over $1 million. But he's had some problems along the way. He was suspended by the Pirates for unprofessional conduct in 2009, and they took the hard line with him. And they said, you're going to shape up or you're not going to be around this organization. And he took it to heart, and here he is in the big leagues.
Strike 1 to Frazier. Broken bat, rolled to short. They'll get the out at second, and the Reds get a hit, nothing to show for it in the 6th. Going to the 7th, several important fundraising events for the Reds Community Fund coming up in July. For more information, here's Brian.
The Family Catch allows Reds fans of all ages and skill levels to play catch on the field at Great American Ballpark. The 7th year of this post-game fundraiser takes place on July 7th. Each package includes Reds tickets, a post-game field pass, an authentic baseball, and a certificate. Register at reds.com/catch. The Ultimate Autograph Experience is a new fundraising event that includes all Reds players and coaches. It takes place on Thursday, July 18th. You can register at reds.com/autograph. And the 11th annual Redlegs Run took place on Saturday, June 2nd, with over 3,000 participants and raised more than $168,000 for the Reds Community Fund. Go to reds.com and watch for information about next year's run.
Going to the Reds Community Fund, the special items include that Cincinnati Reds fan experience, the Reds Authentics package, Mercedes-Benz Diamond Club experience, Fireworks Friday experience as well. Bid at MLB.com/auction, then select the Reds auction from the team drop-downs. Bidding ends at midnight on June the 27th. You can bid all the way through till June the 27th. Great to have you with us. If you're joining us late, this is a very special day of baseball with the Reds and Buccos going at it in the final game of this 4-game series, but a special day for the Reds Community Fund as we bring you behind the scenes of what the Community Fund means to Reds country and to the Cincinnati Reds community. All the work that has been done with people from within the Reds organization to throughout the Reds community participating in an effort that has made the Reds one of the most respected and admired organizations in all of professional sports. Congratulations to the Castellini ownership group, to Charlie Frank and all he has done. Well, Homer Bailey's day is done. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 8 strikeouts, no walks, 115 pitches, 79 strikes. Here's Alfredo Simon, who takes over.
Alfredo's really moved up the totem pole as to how he has been used. You know, last year pretty much a guy that would be in early in the game in case there's a blowout one way or another. I mean, in case your starting pitcher gets blown out, or really late in the game. He was one of the last guys used out of the bullpen in an extra inning affair. But now you see him more and more being used. Of course, you've had some injuries to the bullpen. Jonathan Broxton on the disabled list, Sean Marshall on the disabled list. I tell you, Brian Morris handles the bat pretty well for a guy that.
First major league hit for Brian Morris. He muscles that one up in the zone the other way. And the leadoff hitter's on here in the 7th for the Buccos.
He swings it like he knows what he's doing right there.
Your report card on Homer today, Chris.
Yeah, you know, you keep the ball, you keep your team in the game for 6 innings, you get an A. I don't care whether you give up 6 runs or no runs. You keep them right in there based on the energy of the game, the pace of the game. It wasn't as easy for Homer today as it has been in the past against the Pirates, but he battled hard and pitched a good ball game.
Here's Marte, the leadoff hitter, who doubled in the first, stole third, but was left stranded there, grounded to short, and then struck out in his 3rd at bat. Trying to bunt the runner over. Tremendous speed with Marte, so anytime he puts a bunt down, it's not just a sacrifice. You have to make the right play or you're going to have 1st and 2nd. Strike 1 to Marte. Frazier 3 steps in on the grass in the 3rd. It was the same setup in the 1st inning when Frazier came in 2 steps in on the grass and Marte banged one past him down the line for a double. And this time he bangs it through the left side again for a base hit. So the first 2 runners on here in the 7th in a 2-2 ball game.
Yeah, that 5.5 hole, that's the spot between 3rd and short, killing the Reds this inning.
Well, handing it out to settle down Simon. The good news for the Reds is that guy is got a runner on base in front of him, and that's the pitcher Morris. So Morris is out at 2nd. Marte at 1st. Tony Cingrani has gotten up and started to loosen in the Reds bullpen. Here's Mercer. Now with no outs, you expect him to bunt. Gets it down, but foul. Nick Leyva, the 3rd base coach for this Bucco team, as usual, flashing signs across the infield. And Rick Sofield down at 1st.
You know what I haven't really seen the Pirates do in this series is do the little things right.
Yep.
And this is a must. I mean, if you're Jordy Mercer, a middle infielder, and you're asked to get a bunt down, and you're hitting, you know, in the 200s, there's not a whole lot of power there. You better learn how to get it down.
Hopped up. Will anybody get it? Hannigan will.
That is just a great break for the Reds. And if you're a Pirate fan, or if you're sitting in that Pirate dugout, I mean, Clint Hurdle is about the most positive guy that you'll ever run into. But man, inside that uniform of his, he's got to be churning, thinking, come on.
Little things. They mean something in June and they mean something in October. The Pirates trying to get to 500 into October. So are the Reds. 20 years since the Pirates have had a winning season. So now a double play can get Simon out of this jam, and he's got the speedy McCutcheon at the plate. McCutcheon hit by a pitch, singled, and bounced to third.
Now, he really likes the ball up and out over the plate. He's got a really good level swing, extremely fast bat. If you get ahead of him, you start to tease him with the breaking ball, but you got to get those strikes in there on him first.
A base hit he got in the third, only his third in this 4-game series. The Reds have so far kept him in check. He has hit well against the Reds and hit well here at Great American. He was robbed of a home run last night on a brilliant catch by Jay Bruce.
Well, he's been the pincushion, just like Brandon Phillips has been the pincushion for Pirates pitching. McCutcheon's been hit a few times by Reds pitching this year, but in a 2-2 ball game, you don't expect anything to erupt here.
2 balls, no strikes. Good place to stay out there, huh, Chris?
Well, as long as he'll chase it.
Now it evens up at 2-2. Morris out at second, turns around, looks to see where the outfielder's on. He gets off the bag. He represents the go-ahead run in a 2-2 ball game. Good job by Hannigan.
Well, that's a nasty looking cutter. I mean, a cutter is a cross between a fastball and a slider. And some just move a little bit, they cut across, but look at Alfredo Simons. I mean, that baby drops down like a good old-fashioned hard slider. Needs a strike here.
Good old-fashioned movement.
You let the runners go here?
The way things have gone for the Pirates, probably not. Not with the pitcher leading. And there's ball 4. So now the bases are loaded. And here comes Garrett Jones. And here comes Dusty with the lefty coming up. Cingrani in the bullpen. Dusty will double switch. Jack Hanahan coming out. Frazier will exit. Hanahan will come in, and Cingrani will come in. And Chris, we've talked about it. There are so many dynamics to a ball game, and for the Reds, they're very clearly the Reds miss Ryan Ludwig in the lineup. But if there's anybody that really affects the bullpen, has over the last 2 years, it's Sean Marshall.
Well, when you have one left-handed only guy, and that would be Sean Marshall, the guy to come in a situation to get the toughest left-hander on the other team out, and you lose him, and you've got nobody to replace him with, then you're asking other pitchers to come in and do the job that they're never used to doing before, because they've always had a lefty specialist down there. So he has become, other than our oldest Chapman, probably the most difficult pitcher in that bullpen to replace. And it really shows. Now, fortunately, the Reds have in their minor league system one of the best pitching prospects in all of baseball in Tony Cingrani. In fact, there was a long debate, when he was up here dealing as a starter, whether he would take over the number 5 spot in the rotation or whether it would go to Mike Leake. As it turned out, Dusty Baker gave Mike Leake a vote of confidence. Mike Leake soared from there and has been one of the best pitchers in the league. But Cingrani has been good enough that they decided there's no way we're sending this kid back to the minor leagues. So now he's coming into the ball game to make a relief appearance. He's only made a handful of them, but when he's been out there, he has been typical Tony Cingrani. 80% fastball, a couple of breaking balls here and there, but he's got a fast arm, a deceptive delivery, and the fastball just gets right on hitters, lefties and righties. He's a little better when he runs it up the ladder, and he's a great kid to watch pitch.
Cingrani pitched an inning last night. He came in the 8th and struck out the side. He struck out Walker, Alvarez, and Snyder. He did not face Garrett Jones last night. So he's being asked to fill the role of one of the most reliable left-handers in all of baseball, Sean Marshall. If they can get him to bridge the gap until Marshall gets back, it would be a great boon to this bullpen. Bases are loaded with one out. The Reds looking middle of the infield to turn 2. Hanahan takes over at third in the double switch, so Hanahan would enter in the pitcher's spot, and he would be up third next inning. Frazier spot would be taken by Cingrani, the number 6 spot in the order. He was electric last night, Chris.
Well, he came in to deal last night. It was in the 8th inning, and he came in to face Neil Walker, Pedro Alvarez, and Travis Snyder, and got 2 of them looking, 1 of them swinging, and I mean just simply overpowered him. Let's hope in back-to-back days he still has enough in his arm. This is one thing that he's not been used to since his days as a college player when he was a closer at Rice.
Here's Garrett. He struck out, singled, and struck out. 1 for 3. Outfield swung towards left center with Chu. Swing and a miss. And you know the Tony Cingrani story. Lives with a fastball. The Reds hopeful that he'll develop his secondary pitches to the extent where he can be a consistent starting pitcher in this league. But Chris, he's got the ability that he can throw a fastball and a fastball count to a fastball hitter and still win a battle.
Yeah, there's really not any more than a handful of pitchers out there that say, here's a fastball, you hit it. Other guys that say they do that, but they always have a little breaking ball in their back pocket.
0-2. Sky to the left side, heading towards the seats. It'll be out of play.
I think part of the deception with Tony Cingrani is that he stays over the rubber a long time. And when he does finally make his move to the plate, he's got a very long stride and kind of a sweeping arm action that is deceptive to the hitter. So if you've got a guy who's throwing 94 miles an hour and he's consistently throwing the ball by hitters, and you've got other guys who are throwing 97 who are getting hit, there's something special there. And I think it's deception and the fact that he gets great extension towards the plate.
0-2. And the best pitching coaches and best pitchers in baseball will tell you that there's a difference between velocity and movement is far more important than velocity. He's got movement in addition to velocity.
Yeah, you know, and his movement you can characterize as hop. Not really side to side slide, but just hops on you.
Jones just gets a piece to stay alive. 1-2. Well, the inning started with a base hit by the pitcher Brian Morris. Starling Marte then banged a single to left, and Andrew McCutchen has walked to load the bases. Cingrani trying to get out of this 1-out jam in a 2-2 ball game. Back-to-back lefties, Alvarez on deck. Ooh. 2 pitches where Hannigan thought he had him. Both times he just gets a piece to stay alive. As a catcher, Chris, you kind of live with every pitch, don't you? I mean, you want it to succeed, and when you come that close. Same spot, down and away.
That's always the safest spot to go. Pretty good at bat right here by Garrett Jones, because he doesn't normally get the hit off all that many left-handers. He was pinch hit for actually the other night when they had a left-hander come into the ball game.
Jones only 091 against lefties this year, 275 against righties. Down and away again. Got him. Little giddy up at 94. So the infielders can take a step or two back. 2 away.
Well, like we have seen it before, Tony Cingrani to the rescue. He came in and bailed Sam LeCure out of an 8th inning jam in the first game of this series. That was the Mike Leake game. And he's got one more out to bail out Alfredo Simon.
Reds have come up big in their bullpen and with starters when they've needed to in this series, Chris.
In the series, when you hold the other team to a miserable batting average, runners in scoring position, you've done just that. They're 1 for 10 today, the Pirates are. So credit the Reds pitching for that. And also in the entire series, the Pirates are only 5 for 35 with runners in scoring position. That's why we've had so many low scoring ball games.
Pirates have been near the bottom of the pack all season long with runners in scoring position, and that continues. Ahead in the count again. Cingrani against Alvarez. Alvarez 2 hits, a single, and then his 16th homer tied the game in the 6th. Alvarez again has struggled against lefties. 167. A rope towards the corner in right. It's one hop off the base of the wall. 2 runs will score. They're going to send McCutchen, and he will score also. So Alvarez has done some big time damage on this day. He singled to tie the game in the 3rd. His homer tied the game in the 6th. And this double in the 7th has given the Pirates a 3-run lead.
I'm wondering if Cingrani has the same extra pop on that fastball after he's pitched 3 of the last 4 days. He gets one pretty much center cut right there. And you do that to Pedro Alvarez enough, and he'll center it. He had a home run his last time up, so he's seeing the ball much better today. And he rips out with the bases loaded. That means trouble.
Speed to burn on the bases, and both McCutchen and Marte score easily on the double in the corner. So it's 5 runs, 9 hits now for the Buccos. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Reds here in the top of 7. And here's the first baseman, Gabby Sanchez. Struck out, flied out, flied out. Tuno. So the book is closed on Alfredo Simon. All 3 of those runs charged to Simon. 2 hits and a walk loaded the bases before Cingrani came in. So a 1/3 of an inning. 3 runs, 2 hits, and a walk. Sky to the right side and out of play. Well, once again, the Reds will need some late lightning to pull this one out. J.J. Hoover up loosening in the bullpen for the Reds. Hop back, it'll be out of play. You talk often about it, Chris. It's not always pitch selection, it's pitch location, and that ball that Alvarez hit, if it's down and away where he spent most of the time against Jones, it's a different story.
Well, you know, you're exactly right, but Alvarez is looking fastball because he figures that he's throwing out there now almost fastballs on every pitch to Garrett Jones.
Phillips gobbles it up, but the damage done. 2 singles and a walk and a double by Pedro Alvarez, who's had a 3-hit afternoon, and the Buccos have a 5-2 lead. Hey, the Safeco Insurance baseball camps bring excellent baseball instruction to kids around Reds country. One of the stops for the campers is Great American Ballpark. For more, here's Brian.
For Executive Director Tim Rapay, the goal of the Reds baseball and softball camps is simple.
Our job is to get these kids better by Friday than they were on Monday, and to bathe that whole experience with the Cincinnati Reds. So it's a really great combination.
Rapay and his staff will work 8 camps all over Reds country this summer, from Lexington to Cincinnati, Dublin to Indianapolis. Every camp spends 1 day at Great American Ballpark, and every camper has the opportunity for some Q&A and a picture with a Reds player like center fielder Shin-Soo Choo.
Do you enjoy the chance to talk to kids like that about baseball?
Oh, I love it. You know, I do a couple of times in the Indians too, and then I think this time's very special for kids, very special for me because I don't have this experience in my life. You know, practice, I think best word of practice, I think shag in the BP times.
We just lost a tough game yesterday. We got in late this morning, and Chu wants to come out here and talk to some kids, 150 of them. He wants to come out here and talk to some kids. That just shows you the character that we have on this team.
I'm a baseball guy, so I feel as though we better be teaching baseball really, really well to help these kids get better. And then along the way, the Reds experience makes it something that we hope they will remember for the rest of their lives.
Welcome back to Great American Ballpark. The Pirates push 3 across there in the top of the 7th. They lead it now 5-2 over the Cincinnati Reds. I'm now with Hank Manager from Wood & Lamping, an attorney there. And back in 2006, when the Castellini family took over, you approached Bob Castellini and joined the board. What was your impetus to give him a call and join?
Jeff, our law firm encourages our attorneys to get involved in the community and nonprofit organizations to try to both better the community and be a part of the community.
There's a great program that they run called the Match Program. Tell me a little bit about that.
Match Program is a program where we bring teams together from both the inner city and the suburbs to compete with and against each other on a given day. Their families come out. The kids learn a little bit about what it's like to play with and participate with kids from a different background. It helps them appreciate diversity and helps our community building.
Hank, you have a special connection to the Reds Miracle League. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I have a son, Joey, who many Reds fans know. He usually
works here at the ballpark.
That's right. And Joey was born with a lot of congenital problems. Spent the first 19 months of his life at Children's Hospital. He began, as he got older, to develop a love for baseball. And because a lot of good teachers and coaches took him under their wing, and even in his educational and his career advancement, guys like Jim Sissel gave him a shot. And it's meant a lot to us. And this is my way of saying thanks to all the people that helped Joey and to give something back to the community.
Well, I'll tell you what, George and Chris, Wood and Lampy do a lot. They've helped me with my son, Nicholas. And we all know Joey. He actually lives down here at the Banks and works just downtown, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He loves every minute of it.
That is a great story. Hank, we really appreciate you joining us, and good luck in the future. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. George, Chris, back to you guys.
Thanks, Pick. The Menninger family, one of the prides of Cincinnati, and so much an integral part of this community fun day. If you're joining us late, we're spending this day honoring baseball, but also honoring the Reds Community Fund. All of us at Fox Sports Ohio are so happy to be a part of this effort of the Reds Community Fund, and we thank our normal sponsors for allowing us to put on this commercial-free broadcast. Cozart sends this one to left. Pretty good. Has it got enough? It's going to be one hop and over the wall for a two-base hit. So the leadoff hitter on here in the 7th inning. Bottom of 7 for the Reds. A runner in scoring position.
Well, that's the whole idea of being a leadoff hitter. Zach Cozart has done that in the past. He was a leadoff hitter some last year. He's been mostly in the number 2 spot this year. But you're down by 3. You get late in the ball game. You want to get to the middle relief here before they turn it over to the last 2 guys in their bullpen who are very good for the Pirates. So you add a couple of runs here. You scratch away. You get within a reach and turn the lineup over and bring the big boys back up.
So leadoff hitter on in the 7th. And here's Hannigan. Ryan today. Hopped up, flied out 0 for 2. Grounded to short. That'll get the runner to third. Mercer throws out Hannigan, and there's one away. And here comes Hanahan, who came into the game on the double switch. And don't forget, for a minimum donation of $100, fans can receive 4 view-level tickets to a Reds home game and a Matt Latos bobblehead. To donate, call 513-765-7300, or you can make a donation online at reds.com/community. That's 513-765-7300. Left-hander Tony Watson has gotten up in the Bucco bullpen and started to loosen as we start to turn the lineup around with Hanahan coming to the plate. 8th sellout of the year, 40,929. Helping us celebrate baseball and celebrate the Reds Community Fund on this day. This 40,000 crowd would love to put a capper on it with a Reds rally here in 7, 8, and 9. Cozart off the bag at third. Here's Hanahan at the plate with Chu on deck. Deeper you get into the season, Chris, it looks more and more like it's going to be the Reds, the Pirates, the Cardinals, all the way through to September, doesn't it?
Well, as long as the bullpen stays strong for the Pirates, they've got a good chance. I would imagine that this year, like in years past, they're going to add to their roster at the trading deadline.
That'll get the run in, so the Reds have cut the deficit to do on a ground ball to the right side. Hanahan gets a run batted in, and there's 2 away, and the Reds now trail at 5-3.
Well, at minimum, that's what they needed right there. They just couldn't go through this inning without at least picking up 1 with a runner at third base and less than 2 outs.
Back to the top of the order, Chu. He reached on an error in the first, stole second, scored on the Joey Votto base hit. That made it 1-0 Cincinnati. Showing bunt. It's a dandy. All the way down the line. Chu's going to try for second, and he's going to get there. Doing the little things, and the Reds have a runner in scoring position with Paul coming to the plate. Make a play.
You're exactly right, George. You made a comment a while ago about when you bobble the ball the first time, sometimes you shouldn't even try to make a miraculous play. Now, McHenry did not bobble it, but it was such a good bunt by Chu. Maybe if you're thinking about it and you're Michael McHenry, you're thinking, that's such a good bunt. Rather than take a chance of just turning, firing, and having a bang-bang play at first base, which would be a very odds against play, and versus throwing it down the line and getting a guy into second base. So now a left-handed hitter up against a right-handed pitcher, running her in scoring position, and you can etch away by a base hit right here.
So it'll go as a base hit and an error on the catcher to allow the runner to go to second. So an infield hit, the bunt hit for Chu, the error allowing him to get into scoring position. And here's Xavier, who's 0 for 3. First pitch swinging. This one sliced in the air to left, and the Reds rally snuffed out as Chu will be stranded. But the Reds get a run back after the leadoff double by Cozart and trail it 5-3. One of the Reds Community Funds programs has enabled kids from very different backgrounds to meet and make friends, something that may not have happened without the match program. Here's Brian Giesenslaw with more.
We're thrilled to be back, thrilled about this connection between Harrison and West End.
Since 2006, Charlie Frank and the Reds Community Fund have used baseball to bring people together.
Pitch in, third.
The Community Fund's match program helps build relationships between urban and suburban baseball organizations. The goal is to break through social and cultural barriers and stereotypes. Harrison Junior Baseball and the West End Reds are a first-year match, and the games they'll play aren't one team against another. Players from each league are paired together and play together multiple times throughout the summer.
Our kids get to mix with kids from the suburban area of Cincinnati, and they get to find out that kids are the same all over. So they see everybody puts their pants on the same way to play baseball.
What the Reds Community Fund is doing for baseball is just an amazing thing, because it brings people from different areas, people from different cultures and everything, intermingles them with the best game in the world. I mean, it's baseball.
In 7 years, more than 25 greater Cincinnati neighborhoods have been involved, changing the lives of hundreds of kids and their parents.
This is the way life should be. It's not the way it is, but this is the way it should be. And if you come out here and watch these kids and the way they blend in and start loving each other, reacting to each other, just discovering each other, you'll get it. It'll click. If it doesn't click up there, something's wrong with you.
Great package, Brian. The Reds cut the lead by 1. It's now 5-3 here as we go to the top of the 8th inning. And you just heard about the match program, and I am now with Charles Kelly of North Avondale. This is the man who founded the match program. And 8 years this has been going on. What was it that you thought that this could do for the kids in your neighborhood, and how has it helped them so far, this match program?
Well, what it does for the kids is it gives them the opportunity to have friends and relationships in the neighborhoods that they would not ordinarily be able to know people in. They wouldn't go to those neighborhoods, and none of those kids would come from like Loveland to the inner city were it not for the match program.
That diversity has really helped, hasn't it?
It has. It has. As a matter of fact, we have some kids now who we're working on. Dave Soth and I are the co-founders, and it was actually Dave's idea. And Charlie Frank brought us together, and we put together a plan. And his kids and some of the kids from 6 Men Tigers are forming a group now. We're forming a group to be mentors. Those guys have graduated and on the way to college. They're going to come back and be mentors for the younger kids in the match program.
I got to tell you this, folks. This has gotten national notoriety. It's been Major League Baseball, and also the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation has recognized this program. And what has that done for you guys?
Well, we actually in 2011 won the Steve Patterson Award that's sponsored by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. And what that's done is open up opportunities for us to receive more funding, more recognition, and to expand the program and build a capacity even further.
Well, it is an absolute great program. Our hats are off to you, and continued success in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Charles. All right, gentlemen, comes here to you.
Thanks, Pick, and thanks, Charles, for all that you do. A zipper down the line from Neil Walker, a 2-base hit. So he's in scoring position, and here's the catcher McHenry up. Swing and a miss. McHenry singled, flied to center, and struck out 1 for 3. For Walker, that's his first hit of the day, a 1 for 4 afternoon. Now J.J. Hoover, the new pitcher for Cincinnati. Bailey started, if you joined us late, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, and no walks. Alfredo Simon went a third of an inning, allowed 2 hits and a walk. He left with the bases loaded, and Tony Cingrani, after getting a strikeout of Garrett Jones, allowed the bases clearing double by Pedro Alvarez to make it a 5-2 game. So Cingrani goes 2/3 of an inning. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, the 3 runs charged to Alfredo Simon. And here's Hoover, the 4th pitcher for the Reds. J.J. last pitched on Tuesday. Pitched an inning and struck out 3. Caught the eye of Brian Price and Dusty Baker in spring training, and with the injuries that the Reds have had, he's become an integral part in a learning year at the major league level. Chris, I remember talking to you in spring training, and right away you said this kid has something special.
Well, he's got something special, George, because the ball really explodes out of his hand. He's improved his curveball, and that's been really effective for him. But he's one of those guys. There you see the way that he is very effective, which is running up the ladder. And I said this a couple of times before, that he pitches a lot like, well, the former Reds radio announcer, now Jeff Bradley. He's got kind of a low arm angle. He's very effective up in the zone, because when J.J. Hoover throws it, it doesn't sink as much as the hitters perceive it to sink. It almost looks like it rises. So Hoover's one of those guys who can be effective when he's around the letters.
And oh, by the way, Homer Bailey 8 strikeouts and Graney 1. There it is again.
Closing in on it.
10 strikeouts for the 26th time this year. It's a throw down to third, and once again the Pirates run into an out on the bases. Boy, the Buccos have done some good things in this series, but they've made some base running miscues that have certainly short-circuited their offense time and again. And what a throw by Hannigan.
Well, it wasn't a big jump back there. It was a good throw by Hannigan. You see that Hanahan got there in plenty of time to give Hannigan a good target. So, you know, I think it was just a shot by Clint Hurdle to try to play a little add-on right there. He's got 2 runs with which to work. Why not take a shot right there and see what happens? You know, you're down at the bottom of the order. You got facing a tough pitcher in J.J. Hoover. I think it's probably a pretty good idea by them, and they just didn't get a big enough lead at second.
So 2 away. And there's Brandon Inge hitting in the 9th spot of the order. The Pirates have done a lot more running than the Reds. They've got 48 stolen bases to the Reds 21. They have been caught more times, but Clint Hurdle will try to manufacture and create movement many different ways. Hopped up right side. Will Joey have room? Warning track, fence, got it. Good bounce back by Hoover after the leadoff double. The Reds need some runs. They trail at 5-3 as we go to the bottom of 8. Hey, the Reds Community Fund touches kids in other areas of Reds country. An example, the Reds Rookie Success League down in Louisville, and another one in Dayton. For more, here's Brian.
The Reds Rookie Success League in Louisville dates back to 2008 with Metro Parks of Louisville and the Louisville Bats. The Dayton program launched in 2009 in partnership with the city of Dayton and the Dayton Dragons, and it takes place at Action Sports Complex with more than 300 kids and 100 volunteers. Both markets feature more than a dozen ball field renovation projects in conjunction with the Reds Community Fund.
believes in the city. When I first got here, he told me that he loved the city and he'd do anything he could to improve this city. And you know, this is, you know, how a lot of people should feel about their cities, but they don't. You know, there are a lot of people that are taken from the city versus giving some back to the city. And working with Charlie Franks, our team, you know, going out on days when really they could be resting. You know, going out on days, you know, to be with the kids, going out, you know, to be in the community, and it means a lot.
Now, Dusty hit the nail on the head. So, apropos, he's an inclusive man himself in bringing people together, just as the Castellini group has done with the 2,000 young people at the game today and everything they've done with the Reds Community Fund. Here's Joey. Joey singled in a run in the first and was out trying to steal second. That gave the Reds a 1-0 lead. He bounced to second in the fourth, then singled to right in the sixth and was left stranded. Down to a 2-run deficit, 5-3, 5-10-2 for Pittsburgh, 3-8-1 for the Reds.
Now the new pitcher is a left-hander, Tony Watson. We saw him the other night. That was the game that was started by Charlie Morton and Matt Latos. Watson's got good stuff. I mean, he throws hard for a left-hander. He's got a hard breaking ball. The only blemish that he had the other night in his 1 2/3 was a double opposite field he gave up to Votto.
Hit pretty good, but in his tracks and falling down, but making the play is Snyder. Snyder just did get his feet under him enough to come back and make this catch of the humpback liner. Marte in left. In center, McCutchen, and Snyder comes in for Jones in right. Line drive, one out here in the 8th. And here comes Brandon. Brandon singled and struck out twice. Among those in the sellout crowd here today, Cal Burleson, the general manager of the Indianapolis Indians, and they are now, of course, the affiliate of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So he came down to see his friends with the Reds, but also see the Pirates. And you look at this Pirate roster. I mean, there was a period of time where they would bring in one free agent after another and didn't draw on their AAA franchise. But what Max Schumacher's done down there and what the Pirates have done, they've developed some fine young talent. And a lot of these pitchers, Watson included, Morris, and some of the other players, including Welker, who just came up today, are products of Indianapolis.
For a while there, the Pirates had miserable drafts. I mean, they just were getting nothing out of the free agent draft, and it really hurt them. And they were oftentimes getting one, the first or second pick in the entire draft because their major league record was so miserable. But they've improved that considerably. I think that Clint Hurdle's got a lot better help from his front office now than he's ever had before, and he expects to get even more help as they go through the summer. I think that the Pirates may be in position to make some deals. I know that I saw some interesting people here this week following this series. Not advanced scouts, but special advisors. Advisors to either the president of the ball club or the owner of the ball club, who don't go somewhere unless you've got something cooking.
That time of year, Phillips bounces out, 2 away. Well, Chris, we're down to 8 and 9, and here are the dynamics. From a Reds standpoint, the Reds have scored over 100 runs in the 7th to the 9th inning. That's most in the National League. The other side of it is the bullpen.
Yeah, the Pirates bullpen has been awfully good, and the numbers are typically like this, but they're really dramatic for the Pirates when you think that when they're leading at the start of the 9th inning, and they're 1 out away from that right now, they are 37-1, and of course that one being yesterday when Jason Grilli gave up a game-tying home run to this man.
Here's Jay. He doubled up on that with another homer today, his 15th of the season. That gave the Reds a 2-1 lead in the 4th, his 4th homer in the last 5 games. Pirates have used about every defense imaginable against Jay in their series in Pittsburgh and their series here. That's a bouncer off the pitcher, dribbled down to short, the quick flip by Mercer, and they'll get the out. So Bruce retired. And the Reds go 1-2-3 in inning number 8. Jay Bruce retired. And Chris, you know, we talk about Jay, and he's mentioned what this day means to him because of the work that he did with Brian Wilson and the Brian Wilson Field. But also one of our favorite Reds, Aaron Harang, for so many years supplied military tickets for a family of the military, and Jay has picked up on that to continue Aaron Harang's work. Here's Jay Bruce on it.
The military program is something that Aaron started, and when he left, the community fund approached me and just, you know, asked if I might be interested in doing it. And again, that was the least I could do for those guys. You know, the men and women who serve our country and, you know, allow us to be a free nation and you know, really do what we love to do. And for me, that's play a game for a living, and that's something that I definitely don't take for granted. And like I said, it was, you know, a small token of appreciation, but a token nonetheless. And you know, I'm glad I could still do it.
Giving back to the community, that's what this day is about. That's what Jay Bruce continues to do as a member of this Reds team. As we go to the top of the 9th, the Pirates 5 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. The Reds 3-8-1. And to put a capper on what has been a fun day for all of us, Chris, nobody has been more a part of the community since he first got here than the Hall of Famer Marty Brennaman. Marty, it's been amazing to watch what the Castellini ownership group has done. You've been here for so many ownership groups, so many people, but to see what they've accomplished here is just breathtaking.
Well, you know, I've said it 1,000 times, George, and I know you and Chris have said the same thing. This is an ownership group that puts its money where its mouth is. I think Bob said that earlier to you guys. If you talk the talk, you got to walk the walk, and they do that. You know, I've been through a lot of ownerships with this club in the 40 years I've been around, but I've not been around an ownership that has done as much as far as community involvement is concerned as this ownership group has.
Special group of guys and a special group of people with Charlie Frank at the top of it.
Well, I've said a million times, if I was appointed to hire somebody to raise money, that'd be the first hire I make. He's as good as it gets, boy. I'm not kidding you.
I like your shirt too.
Thank you.
Did you borrow that from Chris?
No, my wife got this for me.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Borrowed from where? Are you kidding? At least he's dressing a little bit better now with Beth on the scene.
Do you think he'll come up with another one of those jackets when we go to San Francisco later this year?
I tell you what, if he does,
the Haight-Ashbury special,
he better go incognito.
He better not wear it on the air anyway. I've already got the word. Hey, Marty, your golf tournament has turned out to be one of the most successful ventures for the Reds Community Fund of all. I mean, I know it's a huge amount of work. Anybody who's ever put a golf tournament together knows that. But they put on a tournament. I've been to a lot of them. That is, no one has been better than that. I mean, you guys just put on something that has just become a place to be every fall.
Well, you know, I don't really do a whole lot, Chris. I lend my name to it, and for a guy who has such a passion for the game and pretty much stinks at playing it, that's one of the highlights of my life, to be able to have your name on a golf event, and certainly one as good as this one is and as much fun as this one turns out to be. I think, and I've heard it from countless people over the years, nobody has more fun at any of these charity golf tournaments than they do at the one that our people put on down at Belterra. It's just a kick, and I'm already looking forward to it the 1st of September.
Free pizza
with the golf. Free pizza today. Hey, you came at just the right time.
You're the good luck charm.
Mine.
All right, the golf tournament, not only during the day, but you have a banquet before. You've been able to get some individual donors over the years. I mean, some big names down there for entertainment. I mean, it's something, if you're out there right now considering putting a group together and coming down there to play, Belterra, they keep that course in exquisite shape all the time. It's a fun one.
Well, they have 2 flights. They have one that tees off at 12:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. I think it's September the 9th, and then Monday at 8:30 or 9 o'clock for the next group. And there's some that play both days. The entertainment is top notch. This year we're going to have a number of comedians as a departure from getting away from the music theme, which we've had ever since we've gone to Belterra. But people stay overnight. That's a part of the package. If you're so inclined, you've got the casino right there. And as you said, the golf course is outstanding. It's a Tom Fazio designed course. And I think the biggest thing that we have going for this event is word of mouth, because so many people who play in it tell other people about what a great time it is. And every year it's sold out, and every year we're fortunate to raise a lot of money for the Reds Community Fund. It's really a great event, without any question.
All right, you mentioned what Bob said earlier when he visited with us about talking the talk and walking the walk.
Yeah.
You did exactly that with the haircut last year. That was unbelievable.
Well, yeah, it was. Hey, that was vintage Marty Brenneman, open mouth and insert foot. Are you kidding me? That ain't the first time that's ever happened, and probably won't be the last. When I told Chris Spire in May, he said this club can win 10 games in a row. I said, no, it can't. He said, sure it can. Why don't you? I said, because they don't hit well enough. They're too up and down. There's no consistency. Well, come late July, they run off their 9th in a row on a Saturday night, and I don't even remember the conversation. I go into the ballpark the next day, and guys are bouncing off of 4 walls. I said, what the heck's going on? Spire said, let me relate a conversation you and I had in May, and about 30 seconds into it, I said, stop. He said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to shave my head. And, it was a great night.
What a night. Fly ball to right. Bruce got it.
It was a great night. Not only for the Reds Community Fund, but also for the Dragonfly Foundation. Those two great women, Rhea and Christine, who do so much for kids, families who are being treated.
That's great.
Look at this. That's like Samson, Chris. All my power left me that day.
No, you reinvigorated yourself, man. Now look at that.
That's some kind of dome right there.
Well, what you did with the kids from the Dragonfly Foundation, Marty, it brought tears to everybody's eyes that night.
Aside from the game of baseball, it's the most special night I've ever spent in the ballpark. And so much of what happened that night, nobody had any idea when the whole thing began. I mean, it was a perfect night. It was a sellout. It was a shutout win over the Pirates. And on August 3rd, and then came the hair cutting and the money that the community fund raised, largely due to the matching check that Charlie Sheen wrote, and then the publicity that the folks from the Dragonfly Foundation got. It was just a sensational evening. It really was.
It's a great example of what we're honoring today, of everybody pitching in.
Well, you all have done such a wonderful job today. The service that you've rendered for the Reds Community Fund in publicizing it, and I'm sure no matter how successful it's been over these years, there's still people who don't know about the Reds Community Fund. You certainly have done a great job in educating people today, and it's taken a whole bunch of work by a lot of people to make this thing go, and it's going to do nothing but get better and better.
And you've had a big hand in it, Marty.
Well, I'm just along for the ride, George. I tell you, I love being associated with it.
You've been the lead cheerleader in a very special time for this Reds Community Fund. How about a rally in the 9th?
How about it?
When we return, bottom of 9, Marty Brenneman, the Hall of Famer, joining us here. For a minimum donation, don't forget, of $100, fans can receive 4 view-level tickets to a Reds home game and a Matt Latos bobblehead. To donate, call 513-765-7300, or you can make a donation online at reds.com/community. That bobblehead can be yours. 4 view-level tickets, a Matt Latos bobblehead. 513-765-7300. Let's recap the auctions for you. Some special auction items with the proceeds going to the community fund. The special items include a Cincinnati Reds fan experience, a Reds Authentics package, a Mercedes-Benz Diamond Club experience, a fireworks Friday night experience, and you can bid at MLB.com/auction. Then select the Reds auction from the team drop downs. Bidding ends at midnight on June 27th. So again, if you're seeing this game on replay, you can still bid up till June the 27th. MLB.com/auction. And they are still taking calls down in the call center. Jeff Picoro's been there in and out this afternoon to keep you up to date. And Charlie, what a special afternoon this has been so far. How are we doing?
We're doing great. I'll tell you what, Matthew Wagner and Sarah Ingram back in our call center telling us the numbers climbing, George. We're over 15,000 already with pledges towards the auction. And as you mentioned, calls are still coming in. We appreciate Fox running the game again this evening. And we'll have staff in the Reds call center. So you keep calling that number that you see scrolling on the screen. We're going to keep growing, and auction items have another week, so it'll take a little time to see. But as Marty said, just to shed some light on the community funds, programs, and stories, you just can't put a price on what you all have done for our organization today.
Well, it's what you've done for Reds country, and you know, you do this day in and day out, but to put it all in a 9-inning capsule of the way we've tried to do today really gives you the full impact of what you folks do on a day-to-day basis. It's really exceptional, and how many people you've touched and how many parts of the community you've touched.
You know, it just it emphasizes how many people in this community care about this baseball team and what this baseball team means to the community. And there just aren't many sports teams that have this connection. I mean, you can talk about the Cardinals in St. Louis, or the Red Sox, or the Yankees, or the Cubs, and I'm sure there are plenty of other teams in other sports. But in this community, this franchise means so much, and when it's doing the right things and it's inspiring people in this way, I think that was Bob's goal when he bought the team. He just wanted to do the right things and lift it in the community.
Donald Lutz will lead it off. A ground ball to second. There's your first out of the 9th inning. The Reds down to their final inning. Lutz hitting for the pitcher's spot here in the 9th inning, and that'll bring up Zach Cozart, who doubled last time up. Special day, Chris. Special afternoon.
Well, it certainly has, George. Everybody that we've been able to sit down with here in the booth, and everybody that Jeff Pecoro and Jim Day and all the other vignettes, there's been a lot of work to put into this day. You know, we want to thank a guy like Brian Hunterman who kind of brought it all together. But it really resonates with me because of so many people who are involved from all the different areas that kind of bring it in together, and the common goal is the success of the community fund. And Charlie, did you ever have any idea that when you first started the community fund, back when John Allen was here, that it would be as big as it is right now?
Absolutely not. I mean, you know, it's a trend in sports with more and more publicly financed stadiums and practice facilities that, you know, teams began with their community relations arm and then with their nonprofit arms in the last 15-20 years. But, you know, there are quite a few teams now that have really taken it into light speed. And when that happens, it's such a remarkable thing because, as you both know, the impact that responsible athletes can have, the platform that they have to reach kids, to motivate a community, there's really nothing like it. And to see all the cylinders firing here with this ball club, on the field, in the ballpark, in the community, it's just very exciting.
Zach Cozart bounced out, walked, and doubled his last time up. He doubled to lead off the 7th, and later scored on a ground out by Hanahan. The Reds 3 runs, 8 hits, and an error. The Pirates 5, 10, and 2. Down to third. Alvarez across, and the Reds down to their final out here in the 9th inning. And Watson still in there to close things out for Clint Hurdle.
That was a save opportunity for Watson. Came in with a 3-run lead in the 8th inning, went 1, 2, 3 there, and has 2 ground balls here in this inning, and he's looking for his 2nd save of the year. This has been a hard-fought 4-game series with a pretty good Pirates ball club. I think that anybody who didn't think that the Pirates are here to stay, this 4-game series should let you know that this is a serious club that if you don't play well, they're going to be on your tail. And they're going to gain a game on the Reds here this afternoon unless the Reds can make a miracle comeback.
Charlie, great to look around this park to see another sellout, 40,929, the 8th sellout of the season on a businessmen special, a Thursday day game, all to honor the community fund.
Yeah, and it was fun, as you indicated, all throughout the day, just all the different color shirts out in the stands. What a fun day for us. This is the one day a year that we have close to 2,000 kids and volunteer coaches from our Reds Rookie Success League. A lot of them, it's their only chance maybe in a year to come down and experience the excitement of a professional sports event, and especially a Reds baseball game. So to give them all the opportunity to be a part of all the neat things happening here, to to combine all that activity with again the effort that Fox Sports Ohio has invested into today, really you got to just pinch yourself if you're a part of our organization today.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Hannigan, who tries to extend the Reds' hopes here in the 9th inning. You mentioned, and apropos to the way Major League Baseball is today, there are some teams that have done a lot with their community involvement over the last generation, but no team has come farther than the Reds have come from where this organization was beginning, as Chris mentioned, with John Allen and his impetus and the Castellini group. I mean, you've come light years, and to see where this organization has progressed to the point where you are the envy of Major League Baseball, teams around baseball, as well as teams in other professional sports. You have to be pretty proud of that.
Very proud, but very appreciative, George. I mean, the Castellinis celebrate and promote the work that not only the community fund does, but also the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum and their director Rick Walls and their fantastic staff, and our Reds Heads Kids Clubs. You know, all of the ways that the Reds now creatively connect with the community, it's all working, and it's all real and genuine.
Wide, the count evens at 2-2. Chris, we sat here 5 years ago, did the first community fund game. It seemed like it was a baby in its infancy, and to watch the way the train has rolled along the track to be a major locomotive right now is pretty impressive.
It's like a much bigger oak tree right now. Those roots are just spreading throughout the entire community, George. You know, the benefits that the community fund has had throughout the whole area has just been phenomenal.
Well, the Pirates will nail this one down. Watson will get the save, and the Reds will fall in Game 4 of this series, 5-10-2 to 3-8-1. And Charlie, we talk baseball on this day, but we've also spent time talking about the great work that you've done with the community fund, and in one way or another, this is a winning day today for Reds country.
It is, and you know, we're coming up quick on the start of construction on the Urban Youth Academy, the P&G Cincinnati MLB Urban Youth Academy. It's going to be the first northern climate facility of its kind throughout baseball. We're right on the brink of bringing it to life. You ask, you know, if we ever could have seen this coming, and that's our future. I mean, that's when we really become truly year-round, providing opportunities for kids no matter what the season. More and more kids throughout the region. Great central location, working with the city and other sponsors and Major League Baseball. So hopefully great things to come. And I just want to thank you both again for making this possible today. And Chris, thank you for all the great work that you do. I mean, you're our model. You know, you're our role model. You're out there volunteering your time with us and other baseball organizations. That's what it's all about. You know, it's not just parents. It's committed volunteers and people that realize that this great game of baseball can teach so much to kids.
Charlie, we're very happy to be a part of it. It's been a joy for us on this day, and congratulations on all that you've done, and for all the people behind the scenes that work so hard. Chris, it's been a special day for us.
It really has been a special day. It's flown by. I wish the game had a different outcome, and the Reds were able to take this one and win 3 out of 4, but they split with the Pirates. And but overall, the people that have come in here and their commitment to the community fund and the community's reception of the community fund. I hear people talking about it. I see people wearing shirts and hats, Charlie. So what you've been doing is catching on, and the snowball is getting bigger and bigger.
I'm afraid you're right.
Great job,
it rolls
Charlie.
fast. Thank you,
Great
George.
job, Charlie.
Chris, thank you so
Good
much.
job.
And to Brian and Francois, the whole team, we just couldn't be more appreciative.
We're proud to be a partner with you. Coming up, JD and Pick with the Reds Live postgame. 5-3, Pirates win this one.